like last year it was. So do you fly cross country? What time?
No,
do
you go to
leave?
Disney World.
Oh, you go to Disney. Oh, so it depends on where the location is.
Yeah.
Okay.
They went to Disneyland.
I always thought it was I'm going to Disney World.
It used to be.
That's what I thought.
It used to be. But I think because this game was in LA and Disneyland is right there, that they did Disneyland. So
I guess you get your pick.
It's all the same thing.
Hey, look, there's the belt.
Yes, Leonard Floyd's belt. They got the belt. Very excited about the belt.
Guys got their shirts off. I love a good championship parade. Like, remember when Tom Brady threw the trophy
last year and
over
people had heart failure over it? Yeah,
he was hammered.
That was really
he was
good.
hammered. The video of him and Gronk is like holding him up. It looked like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen after the flu game.
Yes.
Where Gronk's playing Scottie Pippen, he's holding him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in trouble that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the one time of year where you see all the guys and they're drinking. They've all been drinking quite a while. And so it's going to get up there and say something on the mic, and it's going to either be slurred words or it's not going to make any sense.
Well, remember Mahomes a few years ago? He was hammered.
Yeah.
My favorite from the Royals one was Alcides Escobar was like standing behind, and he was one of the guys in the trade that it was him and Lorenzo Cain. They came over from Milwaukee in the Zach Greinke trade, and that was one of the first ones, and they were kind of building that team. And just in the background, he randomly, as it got quiet, said, "Thank you, Zach Greinke," and that was like the clip that I will always remember from him for some reason. It was so funny.
Awesome.
I was at the because he was in Omaha briefly this year. Alcides Escobar, like trying to get his career back, and he ended up playing for the Nats this year. But he was in Omaha playing for the Storm Chasers. I went there and yelled that at him, and he got it. He got it right away.
You got it?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, remember that. Royals fans won't forget that.
No, they won't. They won't. But it's kind of reminiscent of when the Huskers had their little championship celebration these many years ago.
Did they do one for all three of the titles?
Yeah.
At the Bob?
Yep. Nice. All of them at the Bob.
Was there a parade?
No.
It was more of a they picked him up at the airport.
They picked him up at the airport when they got back from the bowl game and took him back to the Devaney Center and did impromptu speeches and the first year, the '94 team, Tom Osborne's first title. It was a really cold day. I remember that.
I remember seeing the video of that where it looked like the Rams parade, a few dozen people hanging out outside. It was chill.
Well, it's the beginning of January or middle of January.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So yeah. Hey, can I join a dumb debates one day?
Yes.
I feel like that would be really fun for me to just come in. Like that's basically the whole buffalo chicken pizza thing.
I was gonna say your show today. It seemed like one giant dumb debates.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. So
salted nut roll.
Oh yeah, you have
really?
With that. Yeah.
That's not even a candy one.
No, that's why I put candy in quotations.
Okay, so you are acknowledging it's not really a candy bar.
Yes, but it goes next to like the Snickers and the vending machine, or like it is with it in the aisle.
It's kind of like the original protein bar.
So I feel like it's a candy
all right. Well, then in that case, I will forgive you.
But I think it's better. I think it's better than all of those.
What other weird food takes do you have?
I don't know. I guess I'm realizing now that some of them are weird.
Because people keep coming. I mean, every time you have a weird or strange take for people, they end up just tagging me a lot. Like, oh man, you're weirder than Josh, or you and Josh do a podcast. You guys are both idiots. Yada yada yada. So I'm just wondering.
I'm not denying that.
What other strange things you have?
I don't know.
How do you cook your steaks?
Medium, like at most.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm a medium rare guy, but
that's all right.
We're not gonna get mad at somebody.
Medium rare. It's all
medium rare.
Uh-huh.
It's all good.
People were making fun of me for that steak picture that I tweeted out last week. I thought it was perfectly like medium.
Yeah.
They were like, "What is this? A hockey puck?" I'm like, "No, it has
steak." Twitter is dangerous.
Oh, I debated it for like 5 minutes before I tweeted. I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with this.
You could have, because I've taken pictures of steak and like sent it to friends. We're like, "Wow, I cooked it perfectly," and it sometimes in the picture just doesn't look like.
Yeah, maybe it was that.
And sometimes you just get a weird filter or weird lighting. It's like, wow,
yeah.
How long you cooked that for?
There's a lot of
it's already dead.
A lot of elitists on Twitter.
Yes.
For a lot of different things.
You should see how John cooks his wings. He basically just roasts those things until they're just,
I don't.
It's just crisp, so crispy.
But it needs to be crispy. Soggy wings are disgusting.
Yeah, but you burn them.
No, I do not burn them. I do not burn them. I make sure they're good and they're nice and charred, but I do not burn them.
Okay, there's a line there. I haven't seen your wing eating habits, but
Well,
there
it's
is
gotten
a-
to the point now where the wife, who will always undercook them, I'll take the ones that are pulled off the grill, and I'll finish them in the air fryer. Because they gotta be crispy. Otherwise it's soggy chicken.
There's got to be a crisp to it.
Definitely.
Yes, I don't
we
want-
all agree on this. I just wonder how.
His crisp goes.
He doesn't go that far.
Because I
It
remember one
doesn't
time
go
he,
as far
he
as
cooked
crisp.
brats in here one time, and I was like, okay, it's time to pull them off. He's like, no, not yet.
Oh, yeah,
So
well-
that was what got me in tune with, I bet he does burn his wings.
Yeah, what about a
I
hot
do
dog?
not burn my wings.
And my grandpa, he cooks his food the same way, and he's from Fremont. So I'm wondering if this is just Fremont thing.
Oh,
Because he always said, I liked it better burnt.
Fremont likes burnt food.
I think that's what we're learning.
Listen,
right
I
now.
like if it's junk hot dogs, I will want them black.
Okay, no.
If they're junk, I'm
Yeah,
saying
see?
junk hot dogs.
See, yeah,
I'm
but,
saying-
like, even if it is
there's a difference. Junk hot dogs versus like a brat versus a nice sausage, versus the stuff that you get.
Hey, he's smoking.
wow, a cigar.
That's a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah. It's a Tootsie
It's a
Roll that
Tootsie
has
Roll.
a smoke on it.
Yes, it's a Tootsie Vape. Is what it is.
Oh,
That's
a Tootsie
Oh,
Vape.
he looks like he's really enjoying himself,
He
John.
is enjoying himself with his Tootsie Vape and his,
Oh my
and his-
God, Andy's
and his
drinking.
beer.
What?
Yeah.
So the coach is wearing a shirt with the F word.
Yeah.
Your quarterback is smoking and
Deplorable.
drinking.
a Tootsie Roll Vape.
Might as well invite Snoop Dogg there, and they can enjoy some marijuana.
Wasn't Snoop Dogg doing the halftime show?
He what? That's why I'm saying invite him there. You guys
Well,
can
they
all just
should.
toke up.
He's a proud, LAite.
Los Angeles.
Angelino, I believe is what.
Speaking
they
of
call
Los Angeles, the Hollywood sign is hysterical. Have you seen it?
No, what's happening?
So
They changed it?
yeah, well, it says Rams house today, but it looks like
Does it?
looks like yeah. Oh, you haven't seen this?
No, I've not seen it.
So
Have you seen this?
have you seen this?
I
Have you heard
not
about
seen
this?
I have not heard.
I'll find the
this.
picture for you, John. But like Happer, when they'll play a football game one night and then the next day they'll play another game at the same stadium, but it's like a different event, and
Sure.
the midfield looks like garbage.
Yeah.
That's what the Hollywood sign looks like. Like you can tell it says Rams house if you focus enough, but it doesn't look very good.
But it did at one point actually say Rams house, right?
That's what it looks like today. That's what
Oh.
it looks like today.
oh,
So
so
it
that's
looks
the
like-
finished product?
Yes, I think what they did,
Oh,
if I'm
no.
looking at this right, they put like sheets over
Yeah,
it.
they put sheets.
But
in.
I think they're just a little too translucent.
Yeah,
Oops.
Yeah. Oopsies.
I mean they tried.
Yeah.
They tried.
Hey, yeah, they tried.
People,
Participation trophy culture strikes again, John.
again.
Maybe
They
should
hate us because they ain't us. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what it is.
We're the champs. Everyone else is losers.
Yeah. Well,
So
you had to
deal with
trade
it.
in some of your soul because now your quarterback's smoking
Wow.
cigars.
When Dallas wins the Super Bowl, I hope my quarterback is like, can we drink some delicious smoothies
And go to Disney World.
and go to Disney World?
not land.
Not land.
Knowing the Cowboys,
Oh,
they'll
here we
do their
go.
victory parade down Dealey Plaza.
Wow.
That's how stupid Jerry Jones is.
Too soon.
Yeah, John.
It's been 60 years.
Man.
Watch out for hungover cops.
Secret Service agent Nick. Secret Service
Wouldn't
agent.
that be just a Jerry Jones move to do?
I mean, they probably would go down, wouldn't they? I mean, it's such a famous location. I don't know if it's might as well.
Is it famous
I'm
for
sure
what you want it to
Daniel
be?
Snyder-
Great views. Great
Dan-
views.
Daniel
Oh,
Snyder will probably hold the next Washington celebration at Ford's Theater.
Real good camera angle from the library, I hear.
We're talking about
Great camera angle. Nick.
Depository.
Yeah. It looks. Yeah, it's great.
Plenty
up
of
there.
windows.
Have you been up there, right?
to.
The depository.
I have. It's actually very, very interesting.
Pretty nice grassy area.
I've been to the area. I've not been actually into the depository.
Yeah, the sixth floor. It's called the sixth floor museum. They've converted the whole sixth floor into a museum,
Oh.
and it's very good.
Mhm.
They
Very-
like
I highly recommend.
they like mark the spot or like what's the
Stand here. There's
well,
just like
here's
an
the
area.
thing.
Right,
Now-
yeah, like,
now
how
it's
do they-
been-
how do you
it's
deal with
been
it?
20 years since I've been there, but when we were there,
Interactive exhibit.
there were, we went to the museum, but outside the museum, that's where all the crazies were. So all the people like Josh who think the motorcycle cop did it are all
Secret
out
Service
there
agent.
selling their conspiracy
motorcycle
videos
is the
and
Secret Service
books.
agent?
There was,
You
I'm
guys.
not kidding. There was you had a chance. Some dude bought a car that was the same model as Kennedy's limousine.
Oh no.
and they were giving rides.
Oh,
you could buy rides where, and then they put in like a cassette. I mean, this is 20 years ago, so it was like a cassette, and they would, it'd be like a walking tour, but it'd be a writing tour. And when you passed by the book depository, the tape player would play gunshots.
What?
I'm dead serious.
Sounds
Now,
horrible.
I didn't do it, but that was there.
How would you feel like? And I assume you're paying money for this.
Oh yeah. It was. I don't remember how much it was, but
That's a really morbid tour.
It probably feels a little
I'm
weird.
telling you, it was crazy. It was all the people that were set up outside selling their stuff. It was nuts. It was like a really awkward flea market.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Yeah.
But again, the museum was great. I mean, it had all, it acknowledged all the conspiracy theories. It told a lot of the backstory.
That's cool.
It preserved, it didn't preserve, but it kind of recreated what that corner was with the boxes and how the shooter's nest was set up. It was powerful, very powerful. That and the Oklahoma City bombing museum, very, very. I recommend them both if you ever get a chance.
Where's that museum at in Oklahoma City?
Where the
okay.
bombing took place. Where the federal building was bombed.
Why do the crossovers always go this way?
Yeah,
because of
seriously,
you.
we started off normal. We're laughing.
I was
we're
just
talking
gonna
about food.
You have a bad take about
was
pizza,
gonna-
and this happens.
I was going to
Howard.
mention the 9/11
like-
museum, which I think is really, really cool.
It is,
But
yeah.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
like be like, hey, 9/11 museum. See you guys.
Yeah. That I've been there too.
It's because I said Jerry Jones would take the Cowboys down to deal.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
John's fault.
I can bring us back to a not sad museum.
okay.
I went to a sawmill museum once, and it was weirdly interesting.
A sawmill.
Yeah, it was in
What
Clin-
happens
It was
there?
in Clinton, Iowa,
Of course it was.
and it used to be like one of the most major sawmill things on like the East Coast. And then they had like this animatronic setup of these old 1800s white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, we were the founders of this place. We had all these museums, and how they would steal trees from Wisconsin. And now that part of Iowa just hates Wisconsin because they wouldn't
Cool.
let them steal their trees.
That's how rivalries start.
It was weird. It was weird. Informative, but weird.
So was this planned? Was this like a planned trip or was it?
I went to go visit a friend, and on my way in, I'm like, did I see a sign back there for a sawmill museum? And
You
they're
did
like,
it.
yeah. I'm like, I can't not go. I'm curious.
Wow. Okay.
It was pure curiosity.
Well, I'll let you know if I find out if I see any other museums that I feel like you need to stop in. Lincoln's home to the roller skating museum,
Never been there.
the quilt museum.
Never been there.
Does Omaha have any weird museums?
Not really.
There's a train museum down at
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, I can't think of any weird ones.
My favorite museums are the small town ones where it looks like they just kind of built it out of somebody's house.
Which is usually what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may actively be somebody's house in a lot of cases.
Oh, here
It's
we
like
go.
very specific museum.
Shirtless
too.
Aaron Donald.
Should we
everyone is
tune in
shirtless.
live to the Aaron Donald speech at the Rams
I don't
parade?
think we can bring that TV up, can we?
No, we
we
cannot.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you want to do it
shed
anyway.
That shirt like really early in the parade. It's like, well, if I looked like that,
He
I would
is
probably
jacked.
I would probably walk around shirtless too.
Yeah. That guy's a freak.
He is a freak. He is a freak.
Are you sad that he didn't win MVP? Did you?
Well, yeah, because that was
It
my
would've
bet.
been
of the
I know. I
day.
heard you.
That
Yeah.
was my bet of the day.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but I wasn't surprised.
I thought Cooper Kupp was deserving.
They both were. They both were. I mean,
I thought-
if it had been anybody else who caught the touchdown,
Exactly.
it would have been Aaron.
Catching the last touchdown puts it over the top.
Yeah,
For sure.
and the fact that he was pretty much the guy on the drive.
Oh, yeah.
it was he and
It's
Stafford
unstoppable.
the whole way down the field. So no, I don't have a problem.
All right, guys. I'm out of here. Enjoy.
All right. Bye bye.
Yes, go enjoy your non-buffalo chicken pizza.
I will. I will.
Well, coming up, Sam McEwen's going to join us.
What?
Mike Schaefer's going to join us.
What? Well, I mean,
Dumb
he joins
Debates
every-
is going to join us.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And Happer, are you going to join us for Dumb Debates today?
I don't know if I'm here. Maybe.
Okay,
I
cool.
may be here.
All right.
Well, you're
awesome.
always, I tell you what, the invitation, the door is always open.
Yeah.
It's 4:45. It's kind of late.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we always do it at 4:40.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try and be here at 4:45 at some
Sometime.
point.
Okay,
Maybe
you know
not
what
today.
you could
You can
do
kick
if
us
you're,
out.
if you're not here, you can join us in the stream.
That's true. You can also tweet at us at USC 1620 # Dumb Debates.
You're more than welcome to
I
join
love
us.
I've been meaning to tell you for a long time. I love the idea of dumb debates. Before I didn't want to show my love.
Yeah.
But now I'm here.
Now you're,
Okay.
now
Dumb
you're a part
debates
of
is
the-
great.
Let's
Yes,
go.
dumb debates.
Well,
Let's go.
Either way, either in person, in the StreamYard, wherever you're.
Mhm.
The
Okay,
door is
Still
always
AM
open.
radio.
It's still AM radio.
Exactly.
It's still AM radio.
Maybe you save, like, if you get a really, really, really good one, you save it, you write that down, you save it for in person.
Okay.
And that would be a fun
And
way
give
to-
us content
Oh,
for
yeah,
our
I-
show.
those-
Yeah, please. Yeah.
no,
yeah.
those thoughts enter my brain
all the time.
daily.
Yeah, good.
All right,
Sometimes you tweet them and they're about pizza.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Perfect.
All right.
Bye,
Coming
Hap.
back to start a program next on 1620 The Zone.
Betting in the morning. Eric Chenander joins us now.
Because the Big Ten is, to me, mirrors NFL football as closely as any other football I've ever been a part of. Just the offensive schemes, the body types, the fact that this league, week to week comes down to who has the ball last, just like the NFL does.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com.
Cooling down Wednesday after a cold front moved through overnight. Expect mainly cloudy skies throughout the day with north winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, highs in the upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Pandemic-impacted homeowners may be at risk of losing their homes, which is why the state of Nebraska is providing relief through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Qualified homeowners can receive up to $30,000 in assistance for past due mortgage payments, past due real estate taxes, HOA dues, and homeowners or flood insurance. Funds will be distributed until they run out, and they do not need to be paid back. View qualifications and apply today at nebraskahaf.com. That's nebraskahaf.com.
Hey, if you love 1620 The Zone, you're going to love this one. Introducing 1620 The Beer. Unlike the 1620 On Air staff, it's got taste, style, and flavor. And for a limited time, you can try 1620 The Beer on tap at Fernando's at 75th and Pacific. 1620 The Beer from the makers of 1620 The Zone.
We all want the very best for our kids. Their dreams, their health, their future. Nothing is more important. At Children's, we believe every child and family deserves the very best. The best outcomes and experiences, the safest, highest quality pediatric care, and the very best team. All together in an environment of excellence. That's the future of pediatric medicine. Children's Hospital and Medical Center. The very best for kids. Visit children'somaha.org to learn more.
Join online for no enrollment month to month at genesishealthclubs.com.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. talk really is.
We're also going to explain how Gene Smith hates Ohio State fans.
Dude, he hates college fans. Team NFL. We're done with college football in the program. It's an NFL show now.
Bearing them?
Sportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Good Wednesday. Dumb Debates Wednesday here on the program. John, Josh, and Nick. Pretty cool little touch there from Cooper Kupp to wear the Kobe jersey to the Rams victory parade.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
2 years, man.
Yep.
Remember when that happened at the beginning of 2020? We're like, wow, what a horrible start to the year. It should be all uphill, though, from here after this, right? Or downhill, whatever way. It'll be better after this.
That was a weird day.
That was a weird day.
I was here that day. I was working.
I was crying in my bedroom that day. Sad times.
I was calling a basketball game.
I was calling a basketball game.
It happened right before all the basketball stuff. Ravi was in here.
Ravi was in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad times.
Yeah.
Bad times.
But today, nothing but good times. in
Nothing but
LA,
good times?
Where millions and millions of Angelinos are enjoying the Rams victory parade.
They're very excited. You can hear them.
There's a lot.
But it sounds like
it's and people like to, shame it and all and say, oh, look at no one's here, blah, blah, blah. And then you get the people who are like, well, this wouldn't have happened in St. Louis. People forget that St. Louis took the Rams away from LA
John,
first.
You don't have to defend them.
No, I
you
don't have
make
to
fun
defend
of
it.
Los Angeles for being a bad sports town all the time.
I don't think it's not a bad
John
sports
loves
town.
California.
It's just
They have things to do.
It's just a different town.
They have things to do sports town.
And it's understandable. The Rams have only been back for 6 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But
people forget they have a beach.
It's just the funny thing of I saw.
We do this all the time, though.
I know.
Miami Hurricanes fans have empty stadiums. I bet we could find some tweets from you where you make fun of their fans. Yes, you make fun of empty. You don't think it's funny when stadiums are hilariously empty?
Well, when they're hilariously empty.
Well,
but
that's what the parade was like today. Hilariously empty.
It wasn't hilariously empty. There were millions of people.
Yeah, in the city, in their offices.
Well, yeah, they were watching. It's a busy town.
It is.
They work there. It's the entertainment capital of the world.
They got things.
How do you think you get those magic shows on your internet?
Because of Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Thank you, Los Angeles. Well, they shoot a lot of them in Georgia these days, though.
A lot of them in Montana, some of them in New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of stuff is shot Korea.
Not really here in Omaha, though. We need to make Omaha the movie capital of the world. I think. Get some movies going on in Omaha.
Well, we had that one movie shot here with
which one? The one with Jack?
With Jack Nicholson.
Yep, there was that one. There was Up in the Air with George Clooney. They shot like a couple of establishing shots in Omaha because he lived in Omaha, but only was actually in Omaha like 60 days out of the year. He's a travel boy.
Were those parts in Yes Man actually in like Lincoln, or
they shot some of it in Lincoln, but the like they did like establishing shots of Memorial Stadium, but a lot of it they retrofitted the Coliseum actually in Los Angeles to look like.
Yeah, Jim Carrey was never actually
he was
in
never
Memorial
he was
Stadium.
never here.
He was never here.
Yeah.
So
we have Field of Dreams though, so that's cool.
You do have Field of Dreams.
You have Field of Dreams.
or
Twister. We have parts of Twister.
Is that where Twister was filmed in
parts
Iowa?
Parts of it were filmed in Iowa.
Huh.
It was?
Yeah.
Iowa.
They didn't shoot it in Oklahoma?
Parts of Twister were shot in Iowa.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yep.
Because okay. That's a new one to me.
Yeah,
I thought it was all shot in either Texas or Oklahoma.
It's already here.
Eldora. The most iconic shot from Twister was shot in Eldora.
Is the most iconic shot when the cow was up in the Twister?
It involves a piece of Iowa real estate.
Wow. So that has to be the cow then, right? That was the most famous part. That's the part that I remember.
Yeah, it's the part most people remember.
Large chunk of the final act was whatever in the final act.
Oh, when they ran into they went to take shelter in the barn, and there were a bunch of like knives and stuff hanging from the ceiling.
The house,
razors or whatever. Yeah,
the Twister house.
The Twister house.
R.I.P. the people.
Most of it was shot in Oklahoma, but not all of it.
Interesting.
People forget.
People don't know.
Well, we mentioned the lineup today. Sam McEwen coming up in about 15. Mike Schaefer will be in an hour and so. And Dumb Debates later today. You can get in your Dumb Debate questions. Please do.
Yeah.
Dumb Debate topics.
Yeah.
# Dumb Debates on Twitter.
We got a pizza one in honor of Happer, so that's nice.
Yep. And we'll debate anything. So just send it our way.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Dumb Debates on Twitter at USC1620, or you can email them into the Equitable Bank inbox. John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. Also on the program today, I mentioned that Gene Smith doesn't like Ohio State fans, which is interesting because he is the Ohio State athletic director.
Stupid.
So
dumb.
Did not get a chance to get to this yesterday, but it's kind of tied into what Gene Smith was talking about, big picture wise.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big Ten's television contract will be up after the end of this year. Remember, they only signed a 6-year deal.
People forget.
So they're going to be headed to the negotiating table fairly soon.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a story from one of the sports media sites.
John Oran.
Sports
Business Journal.
That right now ESPN is inside their exclusive negotiating window. Usually the current rights holder has an exclusive rights or an exclusive window to talk about re-upping the contract before it goes to a truly open bid. A lot of big deals like this are done this way. But the Big Ten is expected to forego that window and put it out to open bid. And it's believed that all the major networks are going to be interested in a piece of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. Well, understandably so.
That includes CBS, that includes NBC, as well as, of course, Fox and ESPN. So we put up a poll question yesterday, and you can still vote on it today. Which network would you most like to see carry the biggest big games?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest Big Ten games.
Basically, you're talking about like Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah. This would be known as the Tier 1 rights. Fox has the Tier 1 rights currently. Both Fox and ESPN's contracts are up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tier 1 rights give you the first pick of the best games, which is why Fox always has Ohio State and Michigan. But which network would you most like to see carry those games? ABC, ESPN, CBS, Fox, or NBC? And we'll get to some of those results later on. But, I mean, we're talking some big money. Going to be some big money.
No whammies?
There won't be any whammies. Just money. And a lot of it.
Nick says, if I remember right, they were filming the crowd for the scenes in Yes Man. That was the movie with Jim Carrey. During the 2007 Oklahoma State-Nebraska blowout. They didn't get any usable footage.
Oh, my God.
It was that season. And I'm pretty sure Nick is right that it was that game.
I remember that game in the movie.
Do you really? That game sucked. Bad time.
They
I watched
didn't put
the movie
that
a few
game
months
in
ago.
the movie, did they?
They put a game in the movie.
I never saw the movie.
Yeah, they like once again, it was more just like an establishing type thing. Yeah, it wasn't like they were like Sam Keller drops back to pass.
No, it was crowd shots as if they were in watching the game, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe that'll be a movie club pick. Who knows? Yeah, I never saw it, so I have no desire. Just kidding.
402-951-1620 if you want to join us here on the program. And it's good to have you with us today here on 1620 The Zone.
Now through February 16th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends February 16th. See club for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
At Dingman's, our first priority is protecting your safety. We are here to be your personal advocate to ensure you receive safe, proper repairs by the highest skilled technicians in the industry. Stop in to experience the Dingman difference today. At Dingman's, we would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Winter does a number on carpets. Snow, mud, salt, pet stains, and we're not even going to guess what that is. Time for a call to the Mystery Machine. Mystery Machine carpet cleaning, that is. If you're hearing my voice and have carpet, Mystery Machine carpet cleaning can make your home look its best. They also clean furniture, area rugs, leather, even tile and grout. There's no mystery to Mystery Machine. The secret is in the steam. Better Business Bureau accredited 5-star Google rating. Click mysterymachine.com. That's mystery with 2 E's, machine.com.
Dear Winter, you're back. And I see you brought your friends sleet, snow, ice, and slush with you. That's quite the crew you got there. Luckily, 2 of my top sled dogs, the Toyota Tundra and the Tacoma, are revving to go. They drive with a whole bunch of terrain-savvy, weather-ready features, like active traction control, available 4-wheel drive, and LED headlights. They're totally game to take on your frosty trails and windswept roads. And you can get a deal and save a little cold, hard cash, too. Cool, right? Can't wait. Toyota. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Enterprise Car Sales in Omaha has a large selection of vehicles at their West Dodge Road location and thousands more to choose from online. Click enterprisecarsales.com to start your vehicle purchase or visit the Enterprise Car Sales off 180th and West Dodge Road.
Here's to days spent roaming and to sleeping beneath the stars, to casting another line and letting time float by. From Shadron State Park to Indian Cave State Park and every recreation area, historical, and state park in between. Here's to your adventures, your memories. Here's to 100 years of your Nebraska state parks. Plan your next trip today at nebraskaparks100.org. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, really late.
9 o'clock.
Creighton and DePaul. It's a 9 p.m. tip-off from Chicago. Jay's trying to continue their 3-game winning streak, make it 4, and push themselves just a little bit closer to the NCAA tournament. Saw John Niotawa tweet this out earlier today. But right now, the Jays are 69.
Nice.
In the net rankings.
Hell yeah.
With a 4-7 record
69.
versus quad 1 and 2. And when you look at the rest of the schedule,
you're talking about moving forward?
Yeah. 6 games left in the regular season, and they're all quad 1 or quad 2 games. All is a quad 2, as well as St. John's and Seton Hall, though Seton Hall's barely a quad 2 because that's a home game.
Mm-hmm.
It's top 30, by the way. Top 30 net ranking gets you a quad 1 if it's a home win. If it's on the road, it's 75.
75.
Yeah, 75.
Neutral site 50, 75.
Yeah.
It's top 30? I thought it was top 25. I thought it was 25, 50, and 75.
I think it's 30.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's 30. In fact, well, I know it's 30 because Marquette is 29th.
And they're a quad 1
and they're
game.
still considered a quad 1 for the moment. But 3 of the 6 are quad 1 opportunities,
and then the other 3 are quad 2.
And the other 3 are quad 2.
So really, no bad losses on the schedule moving forward.
No, there's not. I mean, the Jays kind of escaped their only 2 potential bad losses remaining, and really, right now, the only bad loss that they have is Arizona State.
Yeah.
And I've heard Tim Kruger, local bracketologist, Blue Jay Banner, say this a few times. Committee doesn't obsess over bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
What the committee looks for are good wins, mostly.
And that's what the college football playoff is like too.
Yeah.
Bad losses, you can lose a game. It's what kind of wins, what kind of high-end wins do you have, which I like.
And it's especially true in college basketball, where the potential for bad wins or bad losses happen all the time because you've got 30-plus games.
Yeah. But who have you beaten?
Who have you beaten? That's what the committee's looking for. They're looking for who have you beaten?
Who have they beaten? Yeah.
So, and I know we asked this of you yesterday. You said the Jays wouldn't make the NCAA tournament at the beginning of the season. We kind of do this periodical check of
if I'm an idiot or not, basically.
And I still think the ceiling for this team is making the NCAA tournament.
Definitely it is.
That's the ceiling.
Yeah.
For where they've been, how young they are, and
and that's
some
fine.
of the odds. And exactly,
that doesn't have to be a negative.
No, it's not a
thing,
negative.
right?
It's not a negative.
This was a team coming into the year. That's basically what we were saying. Their ceiling is an NCAA tournament berth, but are they going to be able to get there? And they've played at times this season like they do not belong in the NCAA tournament. But they've also picked up some really good wins.
Yeah.
And so that's why now they're entering, the game tomorrow, 6 in the regular season, however many in the conference tournament. They're entering, the latter half, this last stretch of games with a really good chance.
Absolutely.
It's all in front of them, and they don't have to go on a crazy run to do so.
No.
And that's where you want to be at this time of year. You do not, we always do the exercise, who you rooting for. Don't really need to do that, at least not right now. Maybe eventually to get to that point, but, just keep playing well. And like you said, there's no opportunities for any more bad losses, but there's some really good win opportunities on the remaining schedule.
Even if let's say the Jays just win the quad 2 games, but they lose the quad 1 games, that's going to put you at 19 wins, and you're going to be.
You think I
think you're top 5 in the conference.
Yeah.
I think they'll be
probably playing the 4 or 5 game.
Yeah.
And you win that, and then you're most likely playing the number 1, the 1 seed.
Exactly. But you win 3 of the 6, even if it's the quad 2 games, you win 3 of the 6. It puts you in really good shape going to New York. And even if you go one and done there's still an opportunity. There's still a chance you get in. Obviously you'd like to. There's something psychological about having the 20 wins. That would be,
just looks nice.
Nice to have in your pocket.
2 and 0. Yep.
But, it is certainly doable. It's certainly doable. But I would say, I still would say this is the ceiling. This is the ceiling is making the NCAA tournament, because, it's not a team that's going to go on a, hellacious run. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I did put it on the list that the Jays would win the Big East tournament.
You did?
I did.
What?
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
Because.
Okay.
Why not?
Sure. Why not? Hashtag why not?
Exactly.
In the words of Casey Thompson.
That's right. Hashtag why not?
Interesting.
Well, my thinking is, the team will continue to grow and mature.
Get the eggs.
Mature through the season, and you hit New York at the right time, and you get the right matchups.
People forget it's about matchups.
You get the right matchups, and it's there. Jays already have beaten Villanova. Now, they haven't seen Providence yet. They'll see them just the one time because the home game's going to be zapped.
Sad.
Which is unfortunate. Speaking of the Providence Villanova game.
They let both of us down last night.
Yeah. See, I shouldn't have let you attach your stink to me.
I took them +4.
Yeah, I shouldn't have let you attach your stink to me.
I took them +4.
But I just wanted an article. I was just looking for an article, just so I had some background, because I watched the game, but, I like to have links and stuff so I can click on it.
You love clicking on links.
So I went to my ESPN.com.
Big link guy.
I went to my ESPN.com college basketball page. Nothing. Nothing.
During the game, you're saying?
No, this was this morning.
Oh, this morning.
I was just looking for, how on the homepage you go there.
You want to go there and read about it.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, seriously? It was a top 10 matchup.
In your mind.
It was a top 10 matchup.
In your mind.
What do you mean in my mind? In the AP's mind.
Yeah.
It was a top 10
here we
matchup.
go. Here it is. Now I had to scroll down a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
I had to scroll down a bit.
You have to scroll down.
There you go.
It wasn't at the above the fold, as they call it.
It is definitely not above the fold. This is on like page 4.
Exactly. It was the only top 10 matchup last night. Are you kidding me, man?
I mean, look, John, there are bigger headlines than the only top 10 matchup last night, like Tubby Smith steps down as High Points coach.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know.
That's a big thing.
That's huge.
Gonzaga returns to number 1 for third stint.
Oh, so they do acknowledge
nickname?
that the poll exists. Okay, that's cool.
I assume Tubby Smith is not his Orlando is his name.
Yeah.
Orlando, nice. I didn't know that.
Why would you go by Tubby instead of Orlando?
It's a
Orlando's a
nickname.
cool name.
It's just a nickname.
It's a
Probably when he
nickname.
was a kid.
It's a
My
nickname.
guess is he was a little chubby, and they called him Tubby. And oh
Chubba.
no, wow, he was most fond of staying in the galvanized wash tub where the children were bathed. He was like you. We should call you Tubby.
So he called.
That's a weird.
Smith
draw
says
from
he
that.
tried to shake the moniker several times, but it stuck.
So he likes to take a bath in the Tubby.
He likes to take a bath in the Tubby. You and Tubby, 2 peas in the
I
same
haven't
tub.
taken a bath in a tubby for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So
There
no,
you go.
you can't put that on me.
Travis says, who you rooting for? Honestly, every opponent that Crate plays. There you go. Who you rooting for? Travis edition. Creighton's opponents.
Cool, Travis.
There you go.
That's
Very cool. Very cool, John. It's
Yeah.
rivalries are fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to hate. You make fun of the Cowboys all the time. He's just making fun of your team. It's very fun. It's allowed. You're allowed to make fun of teams. It's okay.
Of course you are.
These are sports.
Of course you are. But I mean, who's Travis's team?
I don't know. He hasn't told me. I have a guess.
Is the team still?
I think he's a DePaul guy.
Oh, he's a DePaul guy.
Big DePaul.
Big
guy.
DePaul guy.
Big DePaul guy.
Well, he'll be very interested in tomorrow night's game.
Indeed, he will.
DePauling.
Wow.
All right, let's get to
Coming
Sam
up
McKeon.
next, Sam McEwen's going to join us. We're going to tackle a lot of different issues.
I'm excited to talk to Sam. It's been a while.
Haven't talked to Sam in this calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
But first, Brookside Medical Clinic. ED meds are proven to work to fix erectile dysfunction. There's no question about that. But we know about side effects. And do you want to time every intimate moment to the taking of a pill? Because it's not like it just pops in just like that. Wouldn't you rather get a permanent fix, something that, will work when you want to work? Like the
Oh, Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The winter cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com and get started.
Friends don't let friends work out alone. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs. How good does it feel to share a new restaurant or a new movie with a friend? They get to enjoy something new, and you get the joy of sharing it. Fitness is no different. For a limited time at Genesis Health Club, join month to month with no enrollment fee and get an unlimited guest pass so you can bring a friend every time you work out. This offer has been extended for a limited time. No contract, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. You'll have the VIP golden ticket to get your friends, family, or even coworkers into Genesis Health Clubs for absolutely free every time you work out. But beyond helping a friend with better health, you also get accountability, which means they are counting on you and you are counting on them to make sure you both hit your fitness goals. No contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. Come into the club or join online. It only takes a few minutes. Offer extended. Act now. Go to genesishealthclubs.com for no contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Sam McEwen of the Omaha World Herald will be joining us in a little bit. Am I the only one that didn't know this about the whole Kyrie Irving story? So as you know, Kyrie Irving cannot play home games for the Brooklyn Nets because of New York City's COVID-19 mandate.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Silver, commissioner of the National Basketball Association, was on the ESPN Get Up Chit Chat show this morning.
Awesome. Your favorite show.
And said the vaccination mandate in New York City doesn't quite make sense to me. He was defending Kyrie Irving. But Irving, because he is unvaccinated, cannot play at Barclays Center. But a player from a different market who is unvaccinated can play in New York City.
I did not know that either.
I didn't either.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Silver said, quote, the law in New York, the oddity of it is it only applies to home players. I think ultimately that rule is about protecting people who are in the arena. It doesn't quite make sense to me that an away player who is unvaccinated can play in Barclays, but the home player can't. To me, that's the reason they should take a look at that ordinance.
Absolutely, they should.
How is this?
I don't know how that's legal.
How has this not been brought up before, or have I just been living in, blissful ignorance land where I didn't know that was the case?
I feel like I missed something. It almost, because I saw that this morning and I thought, is this a new thing that I didn't realize for the longest time? Because he's also not allowed.
I don't
to play.
think it's not new. It's been there.
Now, he's also not to play in Knicks games though. So is that because he plays in a team in New York City, and so does he kind of fall under the same purview?
I just don't want him to play in my games.
I don't know.
It's very odd.
I don't know.
It just doesn't make sense. One of the things that I know a lot of people have been annoyed by over the last 2 years is a feeling of inconsistency from the people that are in charge.
No.
I was trying to be serious.
I'm being serious.
But who was it? Carcetti who wasn't wearing the mask?
The mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah. So he wasn't wearing a mask at the Niners Rams game.
Right.
And he said that he was holding his breath when he took a picture with Magic, right? Magic Johnson.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you idiot. Just say I didn't have it on. We're not morons. And so that frustration of inconsistency has it really, there's a lack of trust in all levies of power these days.
Mm-hmm.
But like something like this, because then you ask the question of what are we really doing here? I am so they ended the mask ordinance today in Douglas County, and I'm someone who, when the rule went into place, I followed. I'd started wearing mine again out and about before, like a week before anyway. But you'll go to places, and I'll talk to people, and even though that is the rule, they'll walk into restaurants and they won't have it on, and by a certain point, workers were like, I'm not going to say anything anymore. I'm just frustrated by this all. I'm not going to get in an argument with them. But then, I mean, when you think of the oddness of you got to walk into the restaurant wearing it once you sit at the table, it's like, oh, does it not spread once I'm sitting at the table?
Exactly.
So this though is just like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm
like, how is that allowed?
I'm really surprised that hasn't been brought up more.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would seem to be, believe whatever you want to believe about masks, mandates, and, if, Kyrie getting vaccinated or not getting vaccinated. Forget about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the lack of consistency.
Exactly.
Because the idea behind not wanting someone in your building who isn't vaccinated is because you think they are more susceptible to getting and spreading the virus.
Correct. So it makes sense. Like, okay, that makes sense.
But what difference does it make if he draws his paychecks from a New York City zip code, or if it's someone who draws their paychecks from a San Francisco zip code?
Yeah,
a Denver zip code, or a Los Angeles zip code, or a San Antonio zip code.
Oddly enough, couldn't you make the argument that it should be reversed? That Kyrie should be able to play it at in that city since he lives there, and people coming in from out of city, out of state shouldn't be able to, or just have a blanket rule. That's the thing that I'm blown away by. I just thought it was a blanket rule, so it's like, okay, that's what you have to understand,
right?
That's fine. And I've said it to you a bunch of times recently. I think that this ordinance is going to change. I think it's going to reverse pretty soon, and I think that Kyrie Irving is going to start playing in home games again. For the first time this basketball season. And this especially makes me think that even more.
But why?
But why?
Why is it this way? And why wasn't more of a stink made about this earlier?
See, and
maybe it's because there hasn't been an example, because I think it's like 97% of NBA players.
It's that.
But even if I'm Kyrie and I know this, I'd be like, excuse me?
Yeah, I know.
Raising my hand, raising a stink.
See, and that's why, like, I feel like I don't have all the information.
Did he do that and people just ignored him?
Yeah.
Or is it just now because Adam Silver is saying it now?
See, I don't think that people just ignored it. Everything he said and did was getting in the news. I almost wonder if this was just kind of under the radar and just people didn't know. I have to imagine that that's what it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Brandon says the rule about an away player being able to play in Brooklyn has been in place since the beginning. I remember reading an article on The Athletic saying that Irving could technically play in Brooklyn if the Nets paid the $5,000 fine for every game he played. They compared it to when the Kings of Comedy used to pay a fine of $7,500 for smoking cigars in the auditorium back during their tour. The author suggested that they would let him play because it made the Nets look bad from a PR standpoint. Interesting. I totally missed that. And the season is, what, 4 months old? 4 months old. Because I'm with you. When I saw that story, that was the exact first reaction I had is, wait, what? Because then the first thing that I asked was, is this new? Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Sure enough, I guess I didn't.
Well, anyway, let's welcome in on the hotline from the Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen, who we get to talk to for the first time in the year of our Lord 2022. Sam, good afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't think we've had you on in 2022. I know we talked at the end of the regular season.
Yeah. Happy New Year,
yes,
Sam.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
It's been a great year so far.
Oh yeah.
Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's all that matters
to me.
Yep.
Right. They did. They did. Welcome back. That's the second one, right?
Yep. That's number 2. Now this is not research, so if I'm wrong, you can, excoriate me later.
Okay.
I think the Rams are the only team in NFL history to win 2 Super Bowls with starting quarterbacks who were in their first year starting
for that franchise.
Obviously, Kurt Warner and Matthew Stafford. There have been others. I think Roger Staubach was in his first year as a starter.
Was Brad Johnson in his first year with the Bucks?
That's the one I'm not sure about.
He was in his second year.
Okay.
Wow.
So I believe the Rams are the only team that have multiple Super Bowls with a first-year starting quarterback.
Interesting.
With that team. With that team.
Interesting.
So
Hall of Famers, so, you know.
And I say that knowing, Sam, you're a Bears fan, and you're just looking for a quarterback.
Just one single quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chicago does not attract those players. It's going to be hard for Chicago to do so long as they're down there on the lake. It's just not a conducive environment to play exciting, high statistic football. And so you know, Tom Brady is an outlier. He was willing to do that. Aaron Rodgers is willing to do it, but those two franchises are very different than the Bears, and it's just a hard place to play. And Chicago's a hard market, a lot of other things. So you got to get lucky. A lot of the good ones, a lot of the great ones like to play in the dome, like to play in the warm weather. And Matt Stafford was no different, so we'll see how it goes for the Bears going forward.
Part of the reason we wanted you on, Sam, is to talk about the column you had last week regarding your proposed recruiting calendar, and we kind of went through it, and we both liked the idea. Which part of that idea do you think will be the hardest sell? Let's say you're pitching this in front of the coaches. Which is going to be the thing that's going to be hardest for the coaches to accept?
I would say that there's probably two pieces. One would be that early, early signing period in July or wherever I had it. I think it was late July. That first would be that early signing period in late July. I'm sorry if there's some noise. I'm on the street here. Okay. And the other one would be that you can't sign an early enrollee unless you sign them in July. I am very I don't know what you want to call it, countercultural on this, but I actually don't. I think the early enrollee stuff is mostly for coaches. I don't know that it benefits the players that much. I think players would probably benefit more from not doing it than just going through their senior year of high school and arriving on campus and coaches having to develop them on a normal clock, because I think part of what happens is the kids get there in January and there's this immense pressure. Well, you're here early, so you better be ready to play. And I think it would be good for the sport to get away from that. And I think if the argument of, well, if you want to enroll early, you got to sign in July would help, because I think you would have kids who weren't ready to make a decision wouldn't be making a decision on December 15th and then showing up to school 3 weeks later. I think they would already know very clearly what they want to do, and they would be ready to do that, and they'd be mentally ready to do it. So I would, in general, get rid of the early enrollment stuff. I don't think it's all that helpful, but I also know the coaches love it, because then they get to know what they have on the roster.
Sam, it's interesting because, I understand the plight of all these decision makers in the last 5 to 10 years as they've kind of moved in different directions, introducing the early signing period, going away from having to sit out a year after transferring, et cetera, et cetera. But it almost seems like, with the benefit of hindsight, certainly, that they're just so reactionary that they never really maybe think a couple steps down the road. One of my favorite quotes from Breaking Bad was, in season 3, no half measures, Walter. And the idea of early signing period makes all the sense in the world, but December seems really like a half measure the further we get into this thing.
Yeah, it hasn't been very helpful. I'll be honest with you. I think the coaches are taxed now. They get done with their season and they immediately have to, finish off a class. And now with the transfer portal, they have this combined reality that's very hard to deal with. And I never loved the December signing period. I think they put it in place because coaches were tired of going out in early January and having to sort of, recommit their class, and they wanted to just move on to the next cycle. And I get all that, but what it has created is a situation where coaches get fired halfway through football season so that they can protect the recruiting class, or they try to do something tricky with the coach firing where they wait until January because then they get the recruit signed. That's happened a couple of times. And I think they just need to get rid of it. I think it would be good to, the kids who sign in July know exactly what they want. There'll probably be 7 to 10. There won't be a ton. And then the other ones will sign in February after you sign your transfer, or at least the first wave of the transfer. So the key to me is You sign the guys that you absolutely know that you want in your program. That's probably 7 to 10 recruits for Nebraska. Then you sign your transfer. Then you sign anything else remaining of the high school freshmen and the high school freshmen. I think that's where you will get probably the most, the smartest way of putting that together. And yes, it's true. Some of these kids are not going to probably get as great of offers. But, at the same time, I think that's what would help the schools is being able to have a priority signing and then having the transfers and then having, hey, I have a few spots left over. Here's who I want to add.
Sam McCune of the Omaha World Herald. Of course, part of the news yesterday was everyone reacting to Adrian Martinez's podcast. When you had a chance to, absorb it, hear the stories, you kind of get more of the insight into exactly what was going down. Is your conclusion that everything ended probably how it should have ended?
Yeah. In terms of him leaving?
Yeah,
it did. I mean, I think any longer, if you stay at a program for 4 years and you're not a lineman and you're a skill guy, I mean, that's about as long as you're going to stay. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. There's a lot of water under the bridge with him and Nebraska. And, I feel for him that he went through all that and then to have that, that injury disclosed the way it was, I think that's not right. Shouldn't have been done that way. And he obviously has had his say on it. So, again, he went through a lot for Nebraska football. He sacrificed a lot. He wasn't perfect, but they also weren't perfect around him. And as I said at the time he transferred, I think it's a cautionary tale. I think it's a cautionary tale of what happens sometimes when you have a really good player and you lean on him for so much. He's a 3-year captain. He's basically your number one ball carrier for 2 or 3 of those 4 years. He's the guy that the head coach knows the best. When those things happen, I think it's a cautionary tale of what's going to occur. Martinez probably on a better program, he wouldn't have been a captain for 3 years, and he wouldn't have been running the ball, 37 times a game and all that other stuff.
Sam, I don't know if you've had a chance to read the David Ubbin story on The Athletic this week about NIL.
I have.
Awesome. Because there was a quote in there that really stood out, and we're going to have David on tomorrow, but for those who haven't had a chance to read it, he talked about Tennessee, name, image, likeness, and how it's affecting them and throwing these large pools of money together to spread amongst the roster. But there was a quote where somebody said, "We realized being involved in recruiting was going to be a priority. Then we realized how much money we were going to need to be elite. And we're shooting to be number one." I wonder, I know you've talked about it a lot of like Nebraska's mindset. I wonder what you think their place is in this era where you're going to have some, groups of people saying, hey, we want to be number one. This is how we do it. What's Nebraska's place in this new world?
Well, I think you have to determine how much money is in these collectives. So, we'll be writing a little bit more about this as the months go on. But the presumption of what was going to happen was that all of these players were going to get, specific sponsorships from car dealerships or, I don't know, restaurants. The biggest concern was, well, what if they get the wrong kind of sponsor or that kind of thing? That hasn't really happened. What has happened instead is you have boosters who can just pool their money into this collective, kind of like a nonprofit, even though it isn't. And they don't have to put their name to it. So you don't really know who's contributed to the fund, and you don't really know how much is in the fund. And you just know that there's a fund, and wealthy people kind of put their money into it, and then the money comes out of it. We know Sand Hills Global is, one of the contributors of that, the Pete family. I think we know that, but I think there's a kind of anonymity to that's attractive to boosters. It's not unlike, you would have had with the briefcase or whatever before. And then the question becomes, well, how much money is really in there? And when you read that story, the best thing I can say is, there's an old saying about liar's poker. And a guy saying he wants to raise $25 million a year isn't the equivalent of somebody actually raising $25 million a year. It's the functional equivalent of someone saying they want to do it. And they create that, and so it's like there's this documentary that I like where somebody it's kind of a spoof documentary where somebody's like, well, I'm going to make $40,000 a year. And then the next guy's like, I'm going to make $80,000 a year. And then the first guy gets up and says, I didn't know I could go to 80, so I'm going to make $80,000. And so it's kind of like that. Like, we don't really know how much money is involved here. There's been a lot of money. There's a lot of numbers thrown around, and we don't really know. And it's going to be hard to figure out. And so what does Nebraska do? I think Nebraska does the best that it can. There's only so much that Nebraska can do because it's based on whether people want to give to that collective or not. In Nebraska's case, there's obviously an organization out there like ABM, and I don't know how much money they have in the fund, and they haven't written anybody. I don't know that they put out a written form. And I think they've gone around to some big boosters and they've tried to collect what they can. And then you have a handful of athletes that have, like Nicklin Haynes is sponsored by First National Bank. So there's been a few of those, but it's been more of this sort of nonprofit collective. And again, I suspect that the NCAA is going to come in and say, yeah, this isn't going to work. This is not the solution to the problem. We're going to have to figure out a way to funnel this stuff through the schools so there's a little bit of uniformity. And it needs to be Title IX compliant. So, a women's full scholarship athlete may get the same as a full scholarship football athlete, that kind of thing. Ideally, they would do that. I just don't know if they have the whatever you want to call it to get to that. They may just keep it this way and see how it goes. You guys have all heard about the salary piece. I don't see how you do the salaries to the athletes unless it's Title IX compliant. I don't know how you wave a magic wand and say, yeah, Title IX doesn't matter. Come on. No, it does, actually. It does matter. And so, like, one of the things that you've seen in this process is both this sort of libertarian, free market mindset of, like, well, only the certain athletes who have the value should get it. And then there's also a mindset of, like, well, but, Title IX matters. Well, Title IX matters. It matters. It matters. And so we'll see. For schools to get involved, it would have to be compliant to that law. If they don't get involved, you're going to have this sort of shadowy NIL organization. And again, I think you're going to get a lot of money in the first couple of years. I don't see how you're going to get $25 million in year 6 when, $4 or $5 million of the dollars went to people who aren't even around anymore. It just doesn't seem very likely to me. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm being naive. I guess I'd rather be naive in that circumstance, but we'll see. I think it's a really fun and interesting conversation, and that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, get used to the conversation. It's going to be around for a long time.
Indeed.
And it's going to take a lot of twists and turns between now and wherever we end up. If I don't even know if there is an end game at this point, because it always seems like there's something else on the horizon that's ready to change the fundamental structure of college sports as we know it.
Yeah, I agree.
Sam
I
McEwen.
totally agree with you.
Yeah. Sam McEwen, Omaha World Herald. Thank you, Sam. Always appreciate it. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sam.
Take care.
Yep, you bet.
Same to you.
Later,
Sam
Sam.
McEwen joining us on the hotline. Yeah, we're going to talk to David tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
it was a fascinating
that.
read, man. Fascinating read. And, one of the things that I've been kind of ruminating on over the last few months, with really just college sports in general is that mindset of wanting to be the best.
Yeah.
So often we'll talk about it on the field. Hey, you want to win the division, then win the conference, win the, playoff game, win the national championship. But the mindset also of being the best at recruiting, I know for some it sounds dirty because it's like, hey, that's not the only thing. And it's not. You got to develop.
It's not, but
man, it's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it is.
And so this mindset, it's pervasive in the Southeastern Conference. The best programs, that's how they are approaching all this. That it is a pervasive thing. And so I wonder what Nebraska's spot is in this new world of college football. They do want to get back to that level. Now they got to, as we talked about yesterday with one of our callers, they got a long way to go. They got to be better than Illinois first. Then they got to be better than Purdue. Then they got to be better than Iowa and Wisconsin. And then only then can we really ask those questions. But I mean, if that's your ultimate goal, if that's your ultimate dream, can they get there if they're not maybe willing to play this type of game like Tennessee is and Texas A&M is and Alabama is and USC? Like those schools are going to play the game. Is Nebraska going to be willing to play the game? Because you can say all you want that you don't like it. You can say I don't like this law. I don't like these rules. That's fine. You can disagree. We talk about it all the time. The gambling rules in this state are stupid.
Yes.
But they are what they are at this present time. This is the same thing. Name, image, likeness. You might not like it, but if you want to be great, this is the sandbox now that you have to play in. You have to. And the schools that are going to embrace it, they're going to be the ones that win.
It's one of the things I wish I would have seen coming.
What's that?
With NIL. Remember when we were talking about NIL, it was, well, come on, car dealer X isn't going to, buy all these players because they only have so much in their advertising budget. And we're right about that. Mm-hmm. But the idea of these collectives, there was nothing written into the NIL law that said you actually had to endorse anything, really.
Yeah.
It's people wanting to, it's basically taking the dirty money that used to exist and bringing it above board and pooling it together in these collectives and then just buying players and saying, well, it's NIL.
Yeah.
And there's no way to prove it's not NIL. And it's just there. And I wish I would have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Because now I think about it, it's like, duh, of course this is what folks are going to do.
Why wouldn't they?
Right.
If one of your concerns as a school is, or even as like a booster is, man, I don't want there to be resentment, in the locker room, which, I always think is overblown because you got to get used to that because that's life. But if that's a concern of yours, this is one way to get around that. Hey, instead of just giving the one player all the money, let's give every player on the roster a good amount of money, And I mean, look, I still like it. I still think this is a net positive. I love seeing and reading stories. There was one of them in Ubbins about, I can't remember, it was a Ohio State running back, just talking about how he's able to help his family now. Damian Daniels, when we had him in studio last month, and hearing him and just seeing the smile on his face, not the positive. Exactly. Not having to worry about, specific things like they used to. I think that is a net good.
But I hope it doesn't come at the expense of people not trying to get their degree. Because ultimately, that was the pitch for the longest time was if you come from a less fortunate family, hey, this is a chance for the first generation of college graduates to come from that family because you got a free education. I hope it doesn't come at the expense of that. And it doesn't have to.
John,
I'm not saying it will, but I hope it doesn't. I hope more people don't look at this as, well, I'm going to get my pay now because it's NIL. And then, more folks, forego college or forego finishing the degree. And then they kind of still end up where they would have been. They just had a few extra bucks in their pocket when they started college.
And look, once again, that's something person to person, but I don't want to be a jerk, but it's just a little naive maybe to hope for that when one and done has existed in college basketball.
But one and done is different. I'm talking about the general rank and file. One and done is different because one and done means you're going to the pros and you're making life-changing money like that. Yeah. I'm talking about the rank and file of the players that aren't good enough to play professional sports,
that they will not be going pro,
or maybe they do get in, but they try, but they end up making very little, and then they're back in their hometowns with no degree in hand, and all the money that they got from NIL is gone. That's the only thing I worry about.
Yeah,
just is a big picture issue, and I don't think that's going to happen in every case, but it may happen in some. All right, past time for break. Come back, and we will have more. I want to tackle the subject when we have a chance about the new Big Ten television contract and where folks would like to see games, because there have been some interesting opinions on that.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Betting in the morning.
The head coach of Nebraska is Will Bolton. He joins us now on Sharp and Betting in the morning. You're going to coach a real full season in year number 3. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Yeah. We got jokes, Coach.
You know what? You're not wrong, though. I deal in absolute truth in my world, and that you're not lying. So we're fired up to be able to play a full season.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cooling down Wednesday after a cold front moved through overnight. Expect mainly cloudy skies throughout the day with north winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. highs in the upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
As the old saying goes, the best part about memories is making them. So this year, come and make some incredible memories with your family and friends in Sarpy County, Nebraska. Wintertime is actually a great time to explore the miles and miles of trails at places like Schramm Park or Fontenelle Forest. Prefer to stay inside? Not to worry. Sarpy County is home to some amazing restaurants, breweries, and distilleries. Click GoSarpy.com to plan your next memory. Sarpy County, Nebraska. So much, so near, so fun!
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everyone for Omaha. The Omaha Mavericks men's and women's basketball teams are back in action, and you can see it all at Baxter Arena. Single game tickets are available now at omavs.com/tix. You can support your Mavericks and get your tickets today. omavs.com/tix.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that. You just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys. It's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast, and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell, because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. Participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Old creepy guy.
On 1620, The Zone.
Back on our last point, Jacob, our friend Jacob Padilla, says he didn't understand the point I made. Why would getting NIL money in college entice players to go pro early? That wasn't my point. My point was I'm hoping that with NIL money, that because now, college athletes can make a little something extra on the top, that it doesn't. It's a hard point to make, and I apologize because I just don't want to lose sight that the college degree is still valuable, and I hope that players that don't go pro and don't make the big money, but do make some NIL while they're in college, don't lose sight of the fact that they're still getting a valuable degree and that they continue to push forward to finish that degree, especially if their career is not going to be in professional sports. That was my point. And I'm not saying it would happen with everybody, but I just sometimes when we get caught up in all these big dollar figures and stuff, and it was one thing about the whole pay for play debate that did bother me, and that is that, and I get how some people would be upset saying, well, they are getting something valuable. They're getting a college degree. My point was always, yes, that is true. It's just that
is not commensurate with what they're doing.
That's not commensurate with how much they're making for that school.
Like
which is far greater money than we've ever seen before.
We're about to get into a story in a moment about the Big Ten and the television contract. And I think that will emphasize what we are talking about.
Right.
And that's always the point that we're making. It's not saying that a scholarship is worth very little, because obviously
it's worth a ton.
It's
worth
worth
a lot.
so much. I'm still paying off my loans. I don't know when I will not be paying off my loans. I would have loved a college education, but if I would have just gotten a scholarship would have been for, reasons of good grades. You've, the idea of earning. These players are then also providing this service that is it's $1 billion enterprise. We're not just talking about, a few $1,000. And so what a scholarship used to be worth in 1958, it's just different now. And I know cost of college has also gone up. I understand that. But come on. I mean, just go look at the television contracts that these conferences are doing.
Now that those arguments were being made, but I also don't want to say that the college scholarship still doesn't mean something.
It obviously does. It does. Of course it does.
It does. And so what I'm hoping for is that, because let's face it, with some of the NIL numbers that are being thrown out there, and that's the other thing, is we have no idea exactly, where the fact and the fiction are. We don't know exactly how much people are making. We hear all the time about, every Texas lineman's getting $100,000, or Casey Thompson's getting $3 million. Blah, blah. We don't know. We don't know. I guess we'll have to ask for tax returns, which that's a whole nother story.
Sports.
But we know that there's good money out there to be had. We feel like pretty confident there's good money to be had.
There's obviously money.
So it'll be, as you're being recruited, let's say you're a high school athlete and you're being recruited. I know how young people tend to think, as being used to have been a young person myself. You see the money, you see the dollar signs, and that's the exciting part.
Is that money?
But I hope that the college degree part of it still means something to those folks.
Well, like, you're going to be a non-college athlete for a lot longer than you will be a college athlete.
Correct.
And even if you go pro, assuming that you don't, pass away young, you're going to be outside of the world of sports, at least an athlete participating more than you will be in it. Travis says, Damian Daniels talking about him telling his mom that he doesn't need any money because name, image, likeness, when she tried to make sure he had enough, was so wholesome to me. Yeah, that was a really cool story. When we had him on, that was, his mom asking, do you need some money? He said, no, I'm good. And that was a really, really, really cool moment. Email, Equitable Bank inbox from Aaron. He says, why does it matter? If someone wants to give money to someone that plays football in Nebraska, why does it matter if they do nothing else for it? As long as they aren't asking them to do something illegal for the exchange of money, what does it matter? I don't understand what it hurts. Do they need to learn how to manage the money? Yes. Learn they probably have to pay taxes for that money? Yes. Does a fifth-string guard need to learn they aren't going to get as much as a quarterback? Yes. But isn't a big part of college about learning life lessons, not just about the education you get from the books in class anyway? And the fifth-string guard will still gets more than the guy from the JV high school team. He did get a scholarship, which is worth something. I think learning life lessons is what John is talking about too. And that's where I always fall back onto this. Like, we end up talking about it a ton, but it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because they are providing a service that I can't provide. I cannot provide the service of playing college football. John cannot provide the service of playing college football. No. We can't do. I was not good enough. I stopped playing football when I was 13 or 14 because I was not good enough. They do something that I can't do and that all of us can't do. And so that's why they are worth what they are worth. If they're able to get money for that, more power to them. If you're mad about the rule, be mad at the NCAA because they're the ones who maybe didn't plan this out like they could or should have. But I'm not. Well, don't be mad at the players.
And quite frankly, they panicked. This could have been phased in a lot more logically and structurally if they hadn't have been fighting for decades upon decades. That they were student athletes, and
this is their fault.
Yeah, exactly. The NCAA brought this on themselves. So when I see tweets from Zach saying it sounds like he's pearl clutching again about paying college players. I've never pearl clutched about paying college players. I've been for NIL from the start. I'm not sure quite how I feel about turning them into salaried employees because I think there's a lot of different layers of stuff that are going to be involved. As Sam mentioned, you can't ignore Title IX. The idea that, we're just going to pay the football and the men's basketball players and everyone else is just going to get bubkiss is kind of ignoring that very important fact. So I hesitate to say go all in about paying college players only because unlike transfer portal and name, image, likeness, this is one thing you better not screw up.
Paying if like the universities actually paid them?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not something that you want to run into in a panic because you're afraid of lawsuits. Say, well, we're just going to have to do it so we avoid the lawsuit. Because that's why we got the mess with the transfer portal. That's why we have the mess with NIL. It's the NCAA panicked, and it was all of a sudden they went from 0 to 100 without really thinking a lot of things through and trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to be able to manage this? How are we going to be able to do this in a structured way so that we don't lose control? And that's unfortunately where the NCAA has put themselves, again, because of their own stupidity of dragging their feet for decades.
Mm-hmm.
But here's one area where you really better be smart about this, because it will fundamentally change everything about the structure of college sport.
Absolutely, it will. Absolutely.
So you better be smart. Better be smart. So, big numbers, you say.
Yeah.
There are going to be some big numbers.
Yeah.
Also, from our standpoint, from a viewer, from a consumer standpoint, where would you like to see these games in the future? Now, this is good money. It's not, Texas offensive lineman NIL money.
That's true, but it's pretty good money nonetheless.
Or Casey Thompson or whomever.
Texas A&M money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a chance to score $5,000 in the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Enter for your chance to win at 1620thezone.com.
1620 The Zone is easy to hear anywhere, on air, online, and on social media. Wherever you are, we are. 1620 The Zone.
Teachers influence and shape the future of society and transform lives for the better. The importance of a great teacher in a child's life cannot be overstated. Catholic schools currently have several teaching positions at 70 locations across Northeast Nebraska. So if you're ready to join us in the most noble of professions, building up great minds for generations to come, while also working in a welcoming and encouraging culture, we can't wait to meet you. Browse our current openings at lovemyschool.com/teachwithus.
Hi again, everybody. Kent Pavelka, courtside, getting ready for this year's roofing season from the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, America's leading installer of Da Vinci roofs and roofs of all styles. We're expecting another year filled with good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard, providing the highest level of customer service with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. It's tip-off time with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
It's that time of year again. He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The winter cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com and get started.
Enterprise Car Sales in Omaha has a large selection of vehicles at their West Dodge Road location and thousands more to choose from online. Click enterprisecarsales.com to start your vehicle purchase or visit Enterprise Car Sales off 180th and West Dodge Road.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Easy to learn, easy to use, small business software tailored just for you. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Friends don't let friends work out alone. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs. How good does it feel to share a new restaurant or a new movie with a friend? They get to enjoy something new, and you get the joy of sharing it. Fitness is no different. For a limited time at Genesis Health Club, join month to month with no enrollment fee and get an unlimited guest pass so you can bring a friend every time you work out. This offer has been extended for a limited time. No contract, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. You'll have the VIP golden ticket to get your friends, family, or even coworkers into Genesis Health Clubs for absolutely free every time you work out. But beyond helping a friend with better health, you also get accountability, which means they are counting on you and you are counting on them to make sure you both hit your fitness goals. No contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. Come into the club or join online. It only takes a few minutes. Offer extended. Act now. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com for no contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
So the Big Ten's television deal will be up after this year. The Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 is basically the first pick of the best games. That's what Fox has. That's why they have Michigan, Ohio State every year. Tier 2 is what ESPN has. They get the second pick, typically, in the draft of games. But they still get good games on the schedule. Fox pays a little bit more for Tier 1 than ESPN gives for Tier 2. Well, those contracts are coming up, and that was by design because Jim Delaney thought instead of signing a long-term deal, with the way that these deals are skyrocketing and with new services coming online and new players in the game, we might stand to make more money if we shorten our deal versus if we do a longer deal, which
it seems like that's going to be a pretty good gamble.
It's a pretty good gamble, but I don't even think Jim Delaney necessarily expected this because according to John Oran, Sports Business Journal, several networks have expressed their interest in taking the Big Ten rights from ESPN. Interest from CBS, Fox, and NBC.
Nice.
All four major over-the-air networks. We thought, Amazon would be a big player.
Netflix, Apple.
All the streaming services.
Yeah.
But when Delaney did this deal, we just thought the SEC and CBS would be a marriage that lasted forever.
And sure enough, that's come to an end.
And that's come to an end. Now CBS realizes, we might want to stay in this college football game. Oh, look, the Big Ten is here.
Plus, it is a legacy like college football network. I mean,
sure
certainly
as
you were
doing
growing
it for 40
up,
years.
Yeah, when you were growing up, that was the network. That was where the game,
right.
The Notre Dame Miami games,
right.
Nebraska, Oklahoma, the best games were on CBS.
NBC sees the benefit. They've only had Notre Dame football for all these years.
And so the plan, apparently, according to John Oran, was that they would want to do a doubleheader where the lead-in would be Notre Dame, and then they'd have a Big Ten game. Basically, if they were to keep Notre Dame in that same window, you're talking about an early evening kind of kickoff, 6:30 for the Big Ten.
So the idea is that the conference, who right now is getting $440 million each from ESPN and Fox, could see a lot more money in the future. And you said the story's actually been updated since we first found it yesterday.
Yeah, so Michael Smith, also of the Sports Business Journal, in a story titled Big Payday Coming for the Big Ten. I'll just read the first paragraph. The Big Ten will become the first college conference to eclipse $1 billion per year when it negotiates its next media rights deal later this year. That's the opinion held by several well-placed sports business sources who expect the conference to more than double the $440 million in annual rights fees that Fox and ESPN currently pay. $1 billion. And so, what you always do is you take the big number and then you divide it by the number of teams in the league. So right now it's 440. That's about $31 million per team. That's just from these specific rights, and then you throw in some of the other stuff.
You throw in the Big Ten network and that money.
So you more than double that, and you're well north of $60 million, and then on top of everything else.
Well,
$1 billion.
The San Jose Mercury did a revenue analysis of the 5 major football power conferences. And now we're still waiting some of the numbers for fiscal year 21, which just ended last summer. The SEC, we told you last week, distributed $54.5 million per school, which is official. They've estimated that the Big Ten will be around $44 million, Big 12 about $34 million, ACC $29 million, and Pac-12 $21 million.
And real quick, the reason that the SEC was higher is because they also did like this $20 million, what was it, like an insurance thing because of COVID, whereas the Big Ten, if I'm to understand it right, they did not do that.
Correct.
That's why there was such a disparity.
But, and also, there was an interruption last year, so not all the games that were scheduled got played,
true.
so the contracts got prorated. The networks didn't pay the full price because they didn't get the full amount of games because we had a COVID-shortened year. But then they went ahead, the Mercury did, and estimated out for the next 3 fiscal years after this year. Next year, they estimate the Big Ten schools pulling in $59 million per school. SEC just a shade behind. By fiscal year 23,
Which is basically what we were just talking about.
Which will,
right? Or is this the last?
This will be the last year under the current deal, because remember, the fiscal year bleeds in. $61 million for the Big Ten and the SEC per school. This is per school distribution. But by 24, fiscal year 24, and as the Mercury writes, the Big Ten's current media rights deal expires at the end of fiscal year 23. So the 23 football season will be the first under a new agreement. To account what we believe should be a whopping increase, they estimate the Big Ten per school $87 million. Keep in mind that the year before they're estimating 61, so it's going up over $25 million.
I think it was like a 40% increase.
And it's $20 million more than the average SEC school. Yeah. And it's almost double what the Big 12 would be bringing in, double what the ACC is bringing in, and double what the Pac-12 is bringing in per school. Again, this is an estimate by the San Jose Mercury News based on the fact that the Big Ten is going to be taking its rights to market. And if John Arand and his colleagues are right, talking about $1 billion contract.
Yeah, and so almost $100 million per school. So that's why, going back to the previous discussion, that's why the scholarship is not all that many of us think that these players should get paid, because the money has increased, in ways that I don't think any of us ever really fathomed, in the last just handful of years, let alone in the last 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. Now, Patrick brings up a point that, yes, he is right. Remember, that comes back to bite the consumers in the rear end. Higher subscription, cable, satellite prices, etc. That's true. That's going to be the case. But it's not stopping anything. That's why these networks are going to pay all that money, because as we have seen, and I sound like a broken record on this, and I know I am, but live sports, it's the last thing. It's the last thing that matters. You look at the top 100, viewed events in a calendar year. You remember, John, when it was all sorts of stuff, 60 Minutes things. The Oscars were always up there with the Super Bowl. Not as many viewers, but they were always in the top 5. It's now just sports. That's all it is. It's sports. Sports.
So we asked you the question. Now back to the consumer side of things.
Real quick, Riley says, sounds like Nebraska will have plenty of money for a Fred and Scott buyout soon. There you go. The positive boys.
They will.
Positive boys.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The positive boys.
So if all 4 major networks are going to be bidding on this thing, which one would you most like to see carry the Big Ten's biggest games?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that belongs to Fox. Fox is tier 1 again. ESPN is tier 2. Most of the biggest games in the Big Ten happen on Fox.
Big names, big games.
No, Big Noon Kickoff.
Oh, my bad.
Big Noon Kickoff.
Nebraska fans apparently like status quo.
They like Fox?
Fox gets 40% of the vote. This is over 1,000 votes. You can still, if you want to vote, you can do so.
I'll retweet it right now.
On the JTech Construction Zone.
And I vote. Am I allowed to
You're
vote?
allowed to vote. I voted.
Fox 40%, ABC, ESPN 33%, CBS 20%, NBC 8%. Apparently not everyone's that enamored with NBC.
Why are people out on NBC?
I don't know.
I love their HD quality.
I don't know.
That's what I thought about with this question, is what HD looks the best.
Honestly, that's my pick.
Yeah. NBC is?
Yeah.
I voted CBS.
And
I can give you my answer why.
Paramount?
Ba-ba-da-da, I want the music.
Can you imagine if SEC fans would get very triggered?
That's not their music. That's college football and CBS's music.
Yes, I know. It's been that way for 30 years.
They can cry me a river, John.
Oh,
they lost the Civil War, and now they lost their music.
Wow.
Take that, SEC. Go north. But in all seriousness, I love CBS. College football.
And my vote is, I would like to see CBS. I wouldn't mind NBC.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see as many players as possible. I've made this point a million times. I do not like the fact that college football is so homogenized with ESPN. Fox has tried its darndest to, get a foot in the door, and they've done a decent job. But ESPN controls the narrative, controls the coverage for 75% of the sport. The biggest games are all on ESPN. I want balance. One of the reasons why I think NFL coverage is as good as it is across all networks is because it's across all networks. They're all competing with each other for the eyeballs. They want, when there's doubleheader Saturday, CBS wants to put its best product forward, and Fox wants to put its best product forward, and ESPN wants to put its best product forward on Monday nights, and NBC on Sunday nights. I think NFL coverage is better than the college coverage. Because they put more into it. It is the NFL. It's the most popular
viewers,
sport.
Yeah.
But
it's the most valuable property.
But there's more competition. I don't like the fact that ESPN has this overbearing hold on college football.
Yeah, but there is competition. ESPN competes against Big Noon Kickoff, which Big Noon Fox is the most watched event. SEC on CBS before that was the most watched college football game every week.
Right,
and
but
Notre
who controls
Dame on
the
NBC.
narrative? Who controls the narrative?
Well, that's different, though.
No,
what you're
but
talking about is two different things.
It's all tied in together.
No, I'm talking about
it's all tied in
the
together.
quality of college football coverage, I think, across all those networks is very, very good. Controlling the narrative is different, in my opinion.
It's all tied in for me. I just want more. I don't want, like when CBS lost the SEC, right now, as of next year, they're not going to have any college football. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. I want them to have a piece in the pie. I want NBC to have a piece of the pie. I like it better that way. I think it's better for the sport as a whole.
Do you suppose it gets bigger numbers from Fox because anybody could watch it? Literally, you have an antenna, you could watch football.
Well, now that's part of it.
That helps.
But, they do put a lot of their big games on ABC.
Right.
Mainly it's the matchups. Fox has Michigan versus Ohio State. So that matters the most. Just like when CBS was the king, and they have been the king many times in the last decade and a half, it's because they always would get the first pick of the litter of the SEC game. So they'd get Alabama versus LSU. They'd get Florida when they were in their heyday under Urban Meyer, LSU, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's part about, over the air matters, definitely, because there are fewer people that have cable now than have in the last, I don't know how many years. But it's also about the matchups. And so when the SEC, Nick, when it moves to ESPN, it's really moving to ESPN/ABC.
Right.
And so they're going to put their best matchups, or a lot of their best matchups, over the air on ABC. But a lot of them will also be
except for the playoff.
Except for the playoff. The playoff is on cable, indeed.
Exactly.
Aaron says, I wholly agree with the CBS and SEC has the best music. NBC has the best HD, but that is just for the NFL Sunday game, or is it always? They always have. NBC's HD is tremendous.
My reasoning is stupid, but I think as a streaming platform, since that's the way everything's going, I think Peacock is better than
Except when it's third down of the Super Bowl and the thing gives you the orange
Nick
wheel
missed
of death.
the story. You have to tell him the story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was very upset.
Adam says, the money has increased for sure. Talking about the television revenue. I don't think it has resulted in correlation increase in profitable athletic departments, though. The majority of college athletic departments lose money. Everyone fixates on the select few with mega money. I just hope everyone realizes this isn't the norm, more the exception. We talk about this a lot,
Yeah,
though.
don't believe what you hear. A lot of the colleges claim they're not money making, but
they're spending so much money to make it look like they're a nonprofit.
That's a lot of it, yes. Mm-hmm.
And you just think there's some straight up lying in there too?
Well, it's sure there could be.
No,
you
just didn't agree with me.
No, I did agree with you.
Okay.
I did agree with you. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's that they're spending a lot of money.
They don't want to show a big profit.
Why do you think that all these universities keep building like brand new facilities like every day? It's because they need to spend that money somewhere.
Exactly. The fact that Nebraska is self-sufficient has been something that they have been very proud of over the years. But for the Power 5 schools, for the Power 5 schools, especially Big Ten and SEC schools, if they're losing money, it's their own damn fault.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't be.
Yeah, seriously.
Unless they owe a lot of legal fees or something.
The money is just so high now. It's just so
incredibly high.
It's
incredibly high, especially in the Power 5. I understand if it's harder to meet budgets.
Well, I always think about a school like Creighton. They have no football to fall back on. Like even a UCF, and now UCF is about to join the Big 12, but UCF, at least they got football money. Creighton has zero football money. They don't even have FCS football money to fall back on.
No, they don't.
So I wonder how difficult that, as we move forward into this world, the basketball only or the basketball first schools, like Villanova, they do have football, they're FCS. Gonzaga, what does it mean for those types of schools in this new era? Where, Greg McDermott, he flirted with Ohio State a few years ago. They could have offered him something that Creighton just eventually wouldn't have been able to match because of the football money that they have, because of the television money that they have. I just wonder what that means for a school like Creighton moving forward.
This week's zone deal is for Mystery Machine Carpet Cleaning. Get 3 rooms cleaned for $75. That's a $150 value, and they go on sale this Friday at 1620thezone.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, This is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More time-saving traffic center. Currently, nothing major as far as wrecks go. We are seeing a little bit of a delay if you're headed west on Highway 370 just before I-80. Slow going on eastbound L Street from I-80 to about 90th. And then delays on westbound West Center Road at 156th. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. Our most popular scratch ticket is bigger than ever, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. So slide into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
It's that time of year again. He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The winter cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com and get started.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Brookside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Brookside Medical now to qualify. 402-671-7777.
You've got a hungry mob? Well, I've got an offer you can't refuse. Get a large one-topping pizza for only $14 when you buy 2. That's right, all the favorites. Beef, sausage, ham, or pepperoni. Just 2 for $28. You like veggies? You can do that too. Mushrooms, onions, green peppers, pick your favorite. Just 2 for $28. I'm only offering it for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Listen to 1620 The Zone anywhere, anytime, online at 1620thezone.com and on the 1620 The Zone mobile app. You can hear all of your 6A to 6P favorites in the 1620 The Zone app, powered by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
We have now taken over your radio.
Mike Schaefer.
See, I would argue, because I like to argue,
we all underestimated how hard it is to, 1, win college football games, and 2, transition and take over a program.
Mike Schaefer.
I was trying to kindly tell Mr. Bishop the Vikings have a chance to surprise some people, and I think that they could even win the division.
Mike Schaefer.
It doesn't seem like the kind of book where they would be hooked on meth. That got dark.
Mike Schaefer.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 24/7. Schaefer, good afternoon. I'm curious. You're taking my offensive coordinator away, and he's going to be the new head coach. Do you want him in the very first meeting to stand up in front of the room of all of those Vikings, hold up his Super Bowl ring, and says, "Boys, this is what we're playing for"?
Isn't that's the Charlie Weiss in Kansas story, right? Like that's it was basically that's kind of what he did. He was recruiting a kid, and he basically took the ring off and throws it on the table, and he's like, "We're gonna we're going to have a bunch of guys that are going to play for some of these. And it just, obviously went quite Charlie Weiss's way at Kansas. Because clearly he's still there, very successful.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you're the first person to compare Kevin O'Connell to Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, this doesn't make me think that you're really confident, Shafe, in how the era is going to go of him leading your Vikings.
No, it was just that's who I could think of that had done the kind of whole thing where you like parade around your Super Bowl ring in the coaching endeavor. But with Kevin O'Connell, I hope that the Vikings have a little bit more success running the football than the Rams did in the Super Bowl there. But we'll see how it goes. He certainly wasn't my first choice, but I preferred him over other options. So it sounds like Kirk Cousins is going to be staying in Minnesota too. So we get to continue the Kirk Cousins Minnesota conversation, and they get a hover right around 500, I'm sure.
Shafe, I saw in the release, the announcement that the Vikings said that he is innovative. What would an innovative offense look like for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings?
Well, they could run hurry up in situations where it doesn't have to be trailing by 3 points with 30 seconds left in a game. Like you could just do it in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That could be sort of interesting, but we'll see kind of what he brings to Los Angeles, to Minneapolis, and go from there. I don't have high hopes. Like I'm excited for something to be somewhat different, but I'm not. If I had to bet, I don't think they'll have a second Super Bowl ring.
Well, Shafe, on the recruiting front, I'd actually meant to ask you about Zane Flores last week, but I'm glad I waited to this week because here in just the last 24 or so hours, he's picked up offers at Kansas State, at Oklahoma State. This is the Gretna quarterback who, he's got 3-star potential with most of the recruiting services. Do you think a Nebraska offer comes, and should it?
I don't know. There's such a kind of a weird sort of deal going there where it doesn't feel like Nebraska has expressed a whole lot of interest. He was at a camp last summer, and they didn't have him as part of their breakout group. He had kind of a poor showing in the camp, and he'd be the first one to tell you that. But you also don't need a camp when you have multiple games of what he's done with Gretna. And obviously, it's good enough for Oklahoma State, and it's good enough for Kansas State. He has some other schools that have come in, and there's still some, Northwestern, Missouri. They have interest as well, Wyoming. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Zane Flores. I don't think Nebraska will offer him, and that's okay. Like, they don't have to take him. They obviously have a full quarterback room as it is right now. They don't have to take a 2023 quarterback, but it's really hard for people to hear that because he obviously won a state title, and we're still acknowledging it as such. It hasn't been stripped. We'll leave the NCAA or NSAA to make that decision, I guess. But I mean, he's had success. People know who he is, and he's been a known name in the Metro for several years. I mean, I first heard about Zane Flores 3 years ago, and so this isn't anything new in terms of where people thought his potential was. So I look at he's going to have more of these opportunities. I just don't think it's going to be with Nebraska. I think they're going to go a different route, and it may not be a quarterback at all.
Shafe, a year from now, what do you think the narrative is with in-state recruiting for Nebraska football?
Well, other than Flores, it looks like they're in a pretty good spot. I mean, you feel good about Malachi Coleman. They already have 2 guys committed in Ben Bramer and Gunnar Gatula. In addition to that, Maverick Newman is someone that I think they have a good shot with, Sam Sledge. And then there's Brock Knutson out there. You have the wide receiver from Lincoln High, whose name Benny Nagoy, I believe. I might have botched that pronunciation. My apologies to him. But they have all these guys. Like they have offers out to a lot of them, and I think they're going to have an opportunity to fill a portion of their class with right there in state. And it's a little bit different. I mean, not every recruitment's the same, and what Caden Helms and Devin Jackson and Avante Dickerson were seeking is a little bit different than what Gage Stenger was looking for, or Maverick Noonan, or whoever. And I think they're going to have a pretty good class right here in the state, but it does set up that if Zane Flores ends up at, say in Oklahoma State, that's all people are going to want to talk about. And they're going to want to know, well, why didn't they take him and everything else. So it's always, it always looks good in some ways and looks bad in some ways. That's true of Nebraska for everything, let alone recruiting.
The in-state class of 23, obviously there's some depth there. How does this compare to recent, in-state classes? Because maybe there's not as much of the high end, though I know Gotchula's in the 4-star range, but it's got a lot of depth, it seems like, more so than we're used to seeing.
Well, I think this is just kind of a continuation of, there's a few stronger classes. We're seeing Nebraska evaluate a little bit more closer to home, being willing to take chances on guys like a Gage Stanger that, maybe in previous years you let a kid go, but when he's the best player in Class A for you in the state of Nebraska and he's leading Millard South at that point to an undefeated season, it seems kind of silly to not give him a look when this is a guy going to Kansas State. And so I think they're trying to do a better job of jumping in the forefront with these. It felt like last year they offered 7 total guys in the state of Nebraska. They got 3 of them, missed out on 4. This time around, they've already got offers out to 5, 6 of them, and it could grow with some of these other guys too. So it just is a good part of the cycle. I mean, Nebraska is going to be cyclical based on kind of what these classes look like, but I think on average you're probably looking at 2 to 3 kids. And this just happens to kind of be a run where you could go 6 or 7. But I suspect that, like I said, a portion of that class is going to be in state. But then they also have to go out and they have to find their defensive backs from somewhere. And really the big thing is what's going to happen on either side of the line. The defensive line in particular is an area that, I have more concerns now than I did in December. And the closer we get to spring ball, the more I'm kind of curious who's really out there with so many starters that are now removed from this program, or so many guys that played a lot of snaps that are no longer involved. Like, what's that defensive line going to look like?
Do you think, Shape, that those concerns, like, can they go away for you before the season starts, or is it just going to be something where you're going to actually have to see it, in August, at the end of August, in September, and beyond?
It's going to be, October before we really know, right? Because here's the thing. If Nebraska comes out and they run the ball well in the spring game, what's the conversation going to be? It's not going to be, the offensive line is solved. It's, oh, wow, that defensive line doesn't look very good. Yep. And then if the defensive line goes and dominates, it's going to be, that's probably the worst offensive line in the country. So I don't know that you're going to learn much in spring ball. I don't know that we're going to learn much in some of these scrimmages if they're open. There was a lot of chatter about where that offensive line was at last year and where Nebraska was at running the football, and they couldn't do it early in the season. So I don't think we're going to have a real read on how things look until probably after the Oklahoma game. And it's not, being pessimistic. I just think it's pragmatic at this point that really we can't determine what it looks like in the trenches until they're about 4 games in.
Speaking of the trenches, you were one of the first guys to really, put in a sales pitch for Henry Lutovsky. Mm-hmm. Do you think he breaks into the starting lineup this fall?
I do. I think Henry's got as much potential as anybody on that offensive line. I think there's something remarkable about how he moves at his size. I mean, his force is really strong because he's able to move quickly at a high mass. I mean, he is just a guy who can really move some defensive linemen and was a good high school player. I still can't believe that Nebraska was able to pull him out of Iowa. This feels like the sort of Iowa offensive lineman that they, have all the time. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to win that job, whether it's with, Matt Sickerman's right guard spot, whether Nori moves into center and left guard is open. But I think Henry Lutovsky is going to be one of these guys that we're talking about a lot in the spring. The coaches are talking about a lot in the spring, and people are going to be excited to see play eventually.
Shafe, along those lines, outside of the quarterback additions, what spring newcomer are you most interested? I don't want to ask to see because, obviously we know how practice works, but to learn about, to hear about from, the coaches and I guess even get to meet and talk to, throughout the spring practice season.
So no quarterback.
No quarterbacks.
All right. Can I give you multiple of them?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So here's the one that I have been asked about a lot lately. There's two guys that I'm higher on that maybe haven't been discussed a ton because when they had announced or committed, it was earlier in December and they weren't quarterback. And so it just wasn't much of a conversation. Deshaun Singleton fascinates me because he has to be good enough that Nebraska took him and they're like, we don't need to go into the transfer portal for another safety, or he has to be good enough that, well, we're going to move some other guys around, but we like what we have here. I mean, so he's coming from Hutchinson Community College. Both safety spots are open. I thought Miles Farmer really struggled to end the year. Obviously, you no longer have Markel Dismuke or Deontay Williams. So Deshaun Singleton is someone that really interests me in that regard. So he's here now. In the same vein, Tommy Hill and Omar Brown. I mean, I think the secondary is going to be, when I show up to watch a spring whatever, I'm really going to try to spend some time just sizing some of those guys up. I think a lot of Omar Brown. So really, Omar Brown, Tommy Hill, Deshaun Singleton, you have that. And then here's the other guy that I've been asked about quite a bit because I'm higher on him than seemingly others, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. I mean, there's a chance that he's Nebraska's best wide receiver as early as next year. I don't know if you guys know this, but he has more production than any other wide receiver Nebraska has on its roster. And he was at New Mexico State last year. So he's someone that, I'm pretty high on. I'm really intrigued to see what he looks like and where he fits in that rotation. But I've heard some good things. And I think Isaiah Garcia Castaneda is going to be a spring breakout, if you will.
We asked this of Brunsey yesterday, but, make or break type springs for returning guys, whether they be, second, third year players, whatever. Is there a couple of names that pop to you right away where it's like, if they don't make some kind of a move in the spring, we're not going to see them in the fall?
Yeah, Mosai Newsome definitely comes to mind for me there, in part because it's never been more open. I mean, this is kind of where he needs to come through. You kind of need to have him have like a Casey Rogers type emergence where he gets this opportunity in front of him with the defensive line. And so that's certainly an area that I think that Nebraska is hoping somebody can come out of. Noah Gates is another, now or never kind of guy. At wide receiver, Will Nixon, Alante Brown. I mean, these are younger guys, but we know that Mickey Joseph's going to be trying to bring in some talented people to soar past them. So Chris Hickman probably falls in that category. And with a guy like Chris Hickman, I sort of think we know what he's going to be. He's probably never going to be your focal point at tight end, but he's going to be helpful depth for you there. Along the offensive line, you got guys like Michael Lynn, where this is the or Alex Kahn. This is the opportunity to kind of be able to break through here a little bit. We were just talking about Henry Lutovsky, who's a redshirt freshman. Well, Michael Lynn's been in the system. Alex Kahn's been in the system. Where are they at now? And so there's a handful of guys that kind of fit all of these things. Then there's some, other unique ones too. You got a Marquise Stepp. Like, that's a guy that, it's going to have to happen for him, or it's probably never going to happen for him. So, or it's not going to happen at Nebraska. So there's definitely people that fit that category.
Shafe, was the Adrian Martinez story of this week interesting at all to you?
Not really, but I operate generally from a premise that when people leave Nebraska, whether it's coaches or notable players, I mean, unless we're just discussing their NFL careers, I don't really get into the whole thing about where they are now and, what's going on with them. Like, how often do we hear about what's going on with Bo Pelini or Bill Callahan or whatever? And I'm afraid it's going to be like that all the time with Adrian Martinez. Whereas, a guy like Tommy Armstrong, he moves on, he plays for the Danger a little bit. You hear about him in that regard. I feel like we're just going to hear about Adrian a lot because it didn't work. And he's such a polarizing figure for some people. And a lot of people were reading the summations of those articles, and it just kind of felt like they had already drawn their conclusion on what Adrian is. And, I don't know that that's necessarily fair to him either. He was answering questions and having a conversation on a podcast. And from all accounts, to me, it didn't seem like there was any vitriol towards Nebraska.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, it's been a month, I think, since we did the quarterback chart.
Yes.
Yeah. So if looking over at the whiteboard right now, we had We had minus 1,500 on Casey Thompson.
8-1
on
Chubba.
Chubba. And then I think the field is at 12-1.
Yeah. Long odds.
Long odds. Obviously, a lot has changed in a month. There's been working out happening.
Oh yeah, pictures, videos.
Chubba put out a video.
There was the video from Chubba.
He was in the weight room. Any movement on the odds chart?
So what do we have Casey Thompson at right now?
8-1. Or not
No,
Casey
that's
Thompson.
gotta
I'm
come
sorry.
down, right?
Minus
Minus 1,500.
Minus 1,500. I'm sorry. I got Chubba on the brain.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. I would leave Casey Thompson there. I wouldn't really move anything at this point. I have no reason to move off of Casey Thompson. So I would kind of leave things where they are. We'll see what it looks like when you get to spring ball, when they have that first practice and we got media out there charting how guys are doing. We'll know how many incompletions and completions people had in the drill that we don't fully understand, and we'll have all those stats out there that we can analyze at that time.
Wow. I was kind of hoping we'd get a move here.
I know, me too.
I mean, that was a pretty
Make a headline.
That was a pretty impressive little video from Chubba. I mean, he lifted a couple of weights in it. He talked about how the guys like talking ball.
Yeah.
With each other,
chatting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see if there's some impressive videos that come from him actually throwing the football.
Here's a semi-serious, semi-joking question, Shave. Like, I wonder, and maybe I'll just do a statement first. I wonder what it's like right now with two transfer quarterbacks coming in and both of them like trying to earn the respect of the roster. Like, you almost wonder if it's like The Bachelor or something, where each quarterback is taking these players out for nice dinners and buying them things, trying to impress. Hey, look, I can be a really good leader too. I am someone that you could bring home to your position coach, in the future. I wonder if that's happening right now with these new players in these position groups.
Well, what's kind of even fascinating to think about, both of those guys have been in this situation for a while. I mean, they've been in this sort of like, got to try to win over the locker room, got to try to win over the coaching staff, got to compete against this other quarterback, and they both lost.
Yeah.
They both been in this situation and they both lost before. Casey Thompson became the quarterback because of poor play and injury, and then never gave the job back, other than, I guess, when he kind of had some struggles gripping the ball in cold weather. So what I heard about Casey Thompson, I know more about him than Chubba, is that he basically really kind of cemented his status with the veteran leaders over at Texas. Bijan Robinson really kind of threw his lot in with Casey Thompson. And so I think when you kind of earn the respect of the guys that are your sort of veteran respected leaders on offense, it kind of permeated throughout the rest of the team. And so I guess he has a little bit more experience of being able to do that. And I anticipate, because he's so regarded as the favorite, that he already kind of comes in with a little bit more cachet than Chubba Purdy. And that probably helps in that process too.
Well, Shafe, we appreciate the time. Of course, I know you're busy today. You're getting ready to fly down to Florida to watch Cleveland Guardians spring training
baseball.
and I hope there's good seats still available for you.
Yeah,
because those things sell out pretty quick.
Oh yeah, people are excited this time of year. Pitchers and catchers are reporting. What a time to be alive.
Exactly. So
John, I feel like you should know this, but the Guardians are in Goodyear, Arizona.
Oh, damn
it, John.
Well, it used to
baseball fan you are.
It used to be like only 8 teams were down in Arizona. The Cubs and like 7 others, and everyone was in Florida. And then people started to move to Arizona because, well, it's not Florida.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good call.
Manifest destiny. This country is built on the principle of just keep moving west.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? And so it's got to be true for these very, very poor baseball owners that should have just invested their money in the stock market and never bought one of these just total lost assets that's known as a Major League Baseball franchise.
Well, whether it's in Florida or in Arizona, enjoy spring training. We all will.
Oh, yeah. Season's just like a month and a half away.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. Mike,
I am not going to spring training, so I won't be able to enjoy it. I will enjoy my very random trip that I'll explain to you both off air sometime.
Perfect.
Oh, good.
Sounds awesome.
Love me some random trips. Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7, joins us every Wednesday right here on 1620 The Zone. Thanks, Schaefer.
Bye, Schaefer.
See you guys.
Mike Schaefer. Still to come, dumb debates.
Dumb debates. Speaking of dumb, what did you think of my idea? The quarterbacks, Chubba Purdy, Casey Thompson, It's The Bachelor. They're taking out the offensive linemen. They're taking out the new wide receivers. They're going to their position coaches and trying to, hey, look, I'm the guy. I'm the quarterback for your wide receiver. I can be the one to help. They have to give them roses and everything.
Well, it makes sense.
It'd be great. I think it'd be a great documentary. If the program is wanting to do when I say program, I mean Nebraska, not us. We're the program. If they want to do a fun video series, have a competition between the quarterbacks and try to get ingratiated with all their
it's not a bad idea.
Their new player. It'd be fun. People would watch it. It'd be better than the shirtless guy staring at each other. Remember that video?
Yeah, that was a little awkward.
That was weird. The only shirtless person I want to see today is Aaron Donald, not any of the Husker players.
Oh, Aaron Donald.
Woo!
Shirtless today. Oh, yeah.
He reminds me of myself.
In that he breathes in
yeah,
oxygen.
See, the human. Supposedly we are both humans. He's something else.
Yeah, he is. He is something else. All right. More coming up. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Zone. Taste of our takes. Sharp and Betting in the Morning.
Omaha baseball coach Evan Porter joining us on Sharp and Betting in the Morning.
It's just wonderful what he's doing, and all three of us, between Brian and Peyton and myself, played here, so we truly do love UNO and Omaha, and we are completely invested in this program and university, and we want to see this thing go as far as it can.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cooling down Wednesday after a cold front moved through overnight. Expect mainly cloudy skies throughout the day with north winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Highs in the upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. No wrecks to slow down the drive home this evening. We are getting reports, though, of delays on westbound L Street at 90th. Also a little bit of a delay on westbound 370 just after I-80. And then some delays out on Industrial Road for both directions around 144th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Opera Omaha.
A diabolical partnership. A deadly plot. Vengeance obtained. Don't miss Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. A musical thriller. February 25th and 27th at the Orpheum. Tickets available now. Details at operaomaha.org.
Creighton Sports Update.
Your Creighton men's basketball team returns to home action this Sunday as they host the Marquette Golden Eagles. Tip-off is set for 2 p.m. inside the CHI Health Center, Omaha. Get your tickets now by going to Ticketmaster.com. GoCreighton.com/tickets or stop by the Creighton ticket office located at the Ryan Athletic Center. And keep up with the Blue Jays all season long at GoCreighton.com.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Get your Fernando's fix at 2 locations in Omaha for the best Mexican food. 70th of the Pacific and 114th in Dodge. Made fresh your way. You can even hear the fajitas sizzling. And you can also hear the fun of happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. The $10 taco basket, $2 off nachos, discounts off drinks, and always the home of the $6 margaritas at Fernando's, 70th of the Pacific, 114th in Dodge, and now the new home of the 1620 The Zone beer at 75th of the Pacific. It's Fernando's, online at fernandosomaha.com.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear with premium cigars or pipe tobacco. Be sure to stop by Thursday after 6 for the Crux Cigars event and whiskey tasting. $30 gets you 3 Crux cigars and into the tasting, plus free food while supplies last. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street next to Cubby's.
And that's when I realized it's called a hamburger, not a handburger, because you carry it with your hand. I was wrong, people. It's like that time I thought I couldn't make the perfect app for football. I was wrong again, people. All I had to do was make a sportsbook app where you can earn season rewards all Sunday long. Nobody's better at bettering things than Caesars.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Dear Winter, you're back. And I see you brought your friends Sleet, Snow, Ice, and Slush with you. That's quite the crew you got there. Luckily, Two of my top sled dogs, the Toyota Tundra and the Tacoma, are revving to go. They drive with a whole bunch of terrain-savvy, weather-ready features, like active traction control, available four-wheel drive, and LED headlights. They're totally game to take on your frosty trails and windswept roads. And you can get a deal and save a little cold, hard cash, too. Cool, right? Can't wait. Toyota. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
Are you building a new home? Are you planning a renovation in your current home? Are you tired of your space but don't know what to do? Unique Spaces Cabinetry by Terry gives you a unique one-on-one design experience. We come to you. We measure and create a 3D rendering of your new and brilliant space that's designed just for you. For a free consultation, go to uniquespacesbyterry.com. That's uniquespacesbyterri.com.
Join online for no enrollment, month to month at genesishealthclubs.com.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
So he's got it. He's got the man's junk in his hands.
The 1620, The Zone.
John, we got some responses from our
we did.
interview with Mike Schaefer.
I bet we did. I want to hear him. Let's go.
Jed says, I believe that the biggest reason Adrian will continue to be such a talking point is because many people use whatever he does to justify how they feel about Scott Frost. If Adrian Martinez fails, they justify Scott Frost's record in defense of him. If Adrian Martinez succeeds, it shows Scott Frost failed him.
I don't disagree at all.
It is the reason why he will be a talking point. For some, I don't want to throw everybody into that boat because there will be Husker fans who just want him to succeed for just the reason of they like him.
And I'll be honest with you. I mean, if he makes a big headline or something, I'll probably pay attention, but I don't think I'm going to be spending a lot of extra time, searching out Kansas State games unless they're playing someone I'm interested in and there's not another interesting game going on opposite it. But it will be an interesting story because, again, he's the highest profile football player to transfer away from Nebraska and to end up at another power school.
And it's one that is regionally based for us. It is one that Nebraska used to play every year.
And there's a good, 1-to-1 correlation. I know some people will bristle at this or disagree, but it is Power 5 competition.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
Some will say, well, but the Big Ten defenses are much stronger. I mean, every conference is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be playing some big boy defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see him in an entirely new system with entirely new coaching, new talent around him, and what he's able to do with it.
Yeah.
Especially in his senior year where he's had a few years of, seasoning under his belt. Plus, he's getting over a shoulder injury that it still has to heal.
Yeah. That's why I hope
he's not going to have any spring.
I hope he gets the opportunity. This week in this story has been interesting to follow.
Yeah.
Because I say it to you a lot. I say it on the air a lot. I like getting information. I like learning things, especially about the team that I cover at Nebraska football. So I like that we got some extra bit of information on the broken jaw about it, really everything, because not a whole lot of that was public. It's nice for me, being able to now confirm a lot of the stuff that you and I were hearing back in September, October, and November. But I like that he said it. I disagree with Schaefer. He's like, I've moved on. I guess I don't disagree. We just have different viewpoints. But I have found it interesting. But there's also this subset of the Husker fan base that now is once again But how did Gus and Joel find out about it? And then there's like this odd debate going on.
Well, we know how they found out.
Scott Frost told them. That's how.
In the pre-production meeting, they that's when they found out about it. And here's the other thing too. Here's another reason why, in many ways, pro sports are better than college sports. In college sports, we always have this, this clandestine, trying to hide everything underneath the surface. Whereas in the NFL, if Matthew Stafford or Tom Brady broke his jaw in a game,
we'd know,
and had to have screws put in his mouth and was trying this experimental thing that they found out about at the Mayo Clinic that could allow him to play without having to undergo jaw surgery. Oh, we'd hear about it.
We would know about it.
We would know about it. It would be stories on all the pregame shows.
Yeah.
There'd be debates on it.
Should they be doing this?
Exactly.
Should he be doing this?
But because this is in college and everyone is
you can be secretive. You're allowed to be.
Exactly. So it was kind of interesting just to get a little bit of a background into all of that. That, to me, that was the most interesting part of the podcast.
Yeah. There was also a question that I asked Shafe about, or you asked about separating themselves, players that need to kind of take that next step. Money Chris, so be ready for this one. He says, who needs to separate themselves? We're talking a program that won 6 games total last 2 seasons. For anyone that can't separate themselves from the current talent, it probably means they shouldn't be trying to play Division I football. That is an email into the Equitable Bank inbox.
Chris also said, talking about Zane Flores at Gretna, he's good enough for Okie State and K-State, maybe Mizzou, all programs who are currently far superior to programs to Nebraska, but he isn't good enough for NU. WTF? I listen, I get it. I get it that, if he's an in-state product, the default is always to go there. But it honestly, it depends on what other quarterbacks they're going to have. Keep in mind, basically, Brock Purdy is a high school recruit because he's got 4 years left.
Seriously,
he's basically a member of the high school recruiting class, even though he's not a member of the high school recruiting class. But he's got 4 years of eligibility. So and I know you're always recruiting quarterbacks, you're always replenishing the room, but there could be a little bit of a logjam. In this year's class. We'll just have to see how they handle it.
Yeah, the math on a lot of this stuff is a little fuzzy right now just because of all of this extra eligibility that Purdy still has that many years at the same time that another quarterback is entering the fold in Richard Torres, who has 5 years of eligibility from this point moving forward, and then Heinrich Harburg, who also still has 4 years of eligibility. So think about that, John. Right now, going into this season, let's pretend that all 5 quarterbacks are still on the roster heading into Ireland. That means that they will have a quarterback with 2 years of eligibility. They will have a quarterback with 3 years of eligibility. They will have 2 quarterbacks with 4 years of eligibility, and they will have a quarterback with 5 years of eligibility. That is a lot of eligibility for these players, and that's why you and I expect one of them, or if not 2, to leave. Greg emails in real quick. He says, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but Adrian Martinez is getting over an injury and won't participate in spring ball. Also, there are no guarantees he'll be the starter. Doesn't he have to compete for the job? What if he's on the bench? That's true. That's the sneaky part of all of this. He could end up on the bench because he's probably not going to be able to participate in a whole lot of anything until the summer. I hope that I want him to win the job just because I think it'd be interesting to see. I want to watch him. I want to see what happens. I am fascinated by how he does and what it would mean for back here. I know some people would rather just move on entirely, but I'm interested in it. So, but Greg, that's a very realistic possibility. There's no guarantee that he's a starter next year at Kansas State. No guarantee.
I'm trying to effort right now because I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the Kansas State quarterback situation.
Yeah,
I know Skylar Thompson. I believe Skylar Thompson's gone now. I believe he actually exhausted his eligibility, but the Kansas State football website is not loading right now. So, I judging by how he is being talked about down in Manhattan, it's kind of a Casey Thompson situation where it really is. It's pretty much assumed that
if he is healthy,
he will start the season.
Yeah.
And it would have been rather surprising that Martinez would transfer into a situation where, it didn't seem like it was a certainty that he was going to win the starting job.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I could be wrong.
Sure.
So coming up, why does Gene Smith hate us? And Ohio State fans.
Really,
see, this should be the
why
real
does he
story.
hate America?
This should be the real story right now. If we were Columbus, Ohio Sports Talk Radio, that would be the story today. Why does Gene Smith hate us?
It's a great question.
It should be.
We'll try to answer it
next. And the alliance is dead on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Now, maybe avoid the extended forecast because there might be a couple days next week that are getting just a little chillier. But the weather has been warming up just a little bit over the last few weeks, and it has been great for someone like me who gets out and goes for a run darn near every single day. And often I'm reminded of the annoyance that I used to have when I would go out for these runs. I wasn't going to get prescription running sunglasses. I wasn't going to wear prescription sunglasses. So I'd go out there and I was hoping that I'd be able to see, and I'd have to squint and I'd have to try to figure out where in the world am I going. Don't have that problem anymore. I imagine a lot of you love going to the gym and you kind of have that internal debate. Do I want to wear my glasses? They're going to get really nasty and dirty and sweaty, or do I want to take them off? And once again, kind of struggle. You're squinting at the weight, trying to figure out how much pounds to put onto the bars for whatever it is. Once you schedule a consultation, once you have a procedure done by my friends at Kugler Vision, that is not a problem that you have to deal with anymore. Schedule it today at kuglervision.com. Find out which of their seven different procedures are going to work for you. And as you look ahead to spring, just over a month away, you will know that you're going to enjoy this spring, this summer, and even fall and winter later on more than you ever have before. 402-558-2211 or that website, kuglervision.com.
1620 The Zone is easy to hear anywhere. On air, online, and on social media. Wherever you are, we are. 1620 The Zone.
Find your purpose with work that matters. Methodist is hiring for clinical and non-clinical positions throughout our health system. Join a team that's making a difference and take advantage of a range of benefits like medical, vision, and dental, flexible scheduling, and tuition assistance. To find all of our opportunities and apply online, go to bestcare.org/jobs. That's bestcare.org/jobs. Methodist, the meaning of care.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
Hi guys, did erectile dysfunction disrupt your Valentine's Day this year? Well, today, Wednesday, February 16th, we're doing something unheard of. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is worth hundreds of dollars. Call today, Wednesday, February 16th, and qualify free. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 402-671-7777.
You've got a hungry mob? Well, I've got an offer you can't refuse. Get a large one-topping pizza for only $14 when you buy 2. That's right, all the favorites. Beef, sausage, ham, or pepperoni. Just 2 for $28. You like veggies? You can do that too. Mushrooms, onions, green peppers, pick your favorite. Just 2 for $28. But I'm only offering it for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
This is a sale so big that Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, and for a very limited time, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Your AC and furnace aren't getting any younger, and this sale couldn't be any bigger. This is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Buy an AC from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Carrier, turn to the experts. On qualifying equipment, for details, call or click.
Get comfort in the extreme and shop the Lincoln Aviator at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Aviator has seating for 7 and performance features that deliver an elevated driving experience. With an accommodating interior and captivating exterior design, the Lincoln Aviator is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in-store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Dumb Debates is coming up. You can still get in some dumb debates if you want. JTech Construction's own Twitter feed. Use the hashtag Dumb Debates. And just remember, anytime you come across something that turns into a really stupid debate, just bookmark it, tweet it at us anytime, and use the hashtag, and we'll take it up in future dumb debates.
I love it when people will send me one on like a random Friday night. It's like, sweet, thank you very much for thinking of our program on a Friday night.
Now, many people who are covering what Gene Smith at Ohio State, the athletic director, said today, he met with the local media there. Many of what folks are covering has to do with the alliance. This was the Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12's answer to the SEC trying to take over the world. And
what'd they do, John? What'd they announce?
Well, when they announced
Sharks
it initially, it was, hey, we're all like-minded schools. We're going to vote together on certain things.
Nerds.
And we're going to have this cute little scheduling alliance. We're going to have these little things where we're going to reserve dates for each other.
That's awesome. A save the date. That's pretty cool,
for college football scheduling.
I love that. That's awesome.
Well, Smith said today.
By the way, this started in July? In August?
July, August, yeah. After the Texas-Oklahoma move to the SEC.
So it's months old.
Yeah.
Months old.
When we first started the alliance, there was a little bit about scheduling, and that kind of shifted. We had 8 versus 9 conference games conversation more intently at that time with the thought that if we played 8, there would be an ACC or Pac-12 school that we might play.
Cool.
But we moved away from that pretty quickly because many of us felt like 9 games was still right for us.
9 games.
So the Big Ten still wants to play 9 conference games, which is going to make things more difficult to schedule in an alliance.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to make it more difficult to do the scheduling thing that we put out on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He said, we thought that conference contests from a TV partner point of view were just as valuable. We decided to kind of walk away from that a bit. Doesn't mean it might not come back up. The value of the alliance was just bringing together schools that think alike. So they're a think tank, not a scheduling alliance.
The real alliance was the friends we made along the way.
Correct.
The positive boys. I will say, though, the one part in there that I definitely agree with, or at least I could be talked into, is having 9 conference games may be more valuable than 8 plus a non-conference game. Because the thing is, and we discussed this recently, like, yeah, you got USC and you got Miami and Clemson and Florida State and Oregon. You got some name brands, but there's a lot of non-name brands in the ACC and in the Pac-12.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people looking forward to that Nebraska-Boston College game.
Yeah, I don't believe it. So, I get it from that perspective. The funny thing, though, is he's saying all this, and it's like, it's just we talked about this with Sam McEwen earlier, just how this sport and college sports in general is like, oh, we got to do something. Let's do it. And then they never figure it out after that, and this thing didn't even last for a year, John.
I'm not that disappointed in this. My biggest problem with the whole idea of the scheduling alliance was, does this mean that, SEC and Big 12 schools might not play Big 10, Pac-12, or ACC schools? Because obviously the more games you reserve for yourself and for other conferences are less that you can play against others.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of schools Nebraska's not played in the SEC
I was
for
gonna
decades.
say, we went through it when the initial eight game conference schedule came out. That news came out from Scott Docterman like a month ago. We went through it. We're pretty sure it's Auburn.
Auburn 1982 is the last
regular season
SEC game. When they played South Carolina in the late 80s, South
They were an
Carolina was
independent.
still an independent.
Yeah.
The last SEC, who at that time was an SEC member school
Yeah.
that Nebraska had scheduled in the non-conference, was 40 years ago this September.
And so think about that. Before that, you got Alabama in the late 70s. You know, have they ever played a home and home with LSU?
Yes, mid-70s.
Mid-70s. And I mean, so then you're just
But,
going
you know,
further and
not
further.
Ole Miss, not
Georgia.
Mississippi State, never played Georgia in the regular season.
Yeah.
Florida in the regular season.
Yeah.
Hell, not even
Vanderbilt, John. Play Vandy.
Kentucky.
Yeah, that's the game that I really wouldn't want to watch, but sure.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes, there's a lot of them.
So I'm not that disappointed.
Now, hopefully this means that they'll actually start scheduling SEC schools. Please do that, Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, they should.
Now, that's what everyone else is focused
They
on.
are focusing on the wrong thing.
But
this is the much dumber thing that came out of this.
But
it makes me kind of hate the sport, if I'll be honest.
Oh goodness, where did I put it? I thought I copied the tweet.
What she said. Do you want me to have it?
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Please. I thought I must have erased it. I copied and pasted the tweet because it was a tweet thread from
Dan Hope.
Dan Hope.
Dan Hope is the deputy editor and lead Ohio State football beat writer for 11 Warriors. So here we go. Gene Smith said that if Ohio State is selected to host a college football playoff game in the future, he would recommend playing indoors in Indianapolis rather than playing in Ohio Stadium. Thinks it would be better for the team not to have to play in bad weather.
Sad.
Nick, it is sad. And it's also stupid. Can we get Cutler saying stupid? Because I want that. That is the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing. Can you imagine, like you said, if we were Columbus radio today, we would have come out and say, Gene Smith doesn't like you. He doesn't like you. Why? Why would you want to give up Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe, December football?
Over 100,000 screaming Buckeye fans.
Why would you want to give a game that's local? Your fans, the majority of the season ticket holders, I have to imagine, live there. It's within driving distance. Why would you give that up?
Why would you give up the fact that your band is there and you can do Script Ohio and you're on campus and your players don't have to, travel and there's not any worry about that? What is it about this conference?
I know, man.
Because this isn't the first Big Ten administrator to express concerns about the possibility of when the playoff expands of having home field games. We've heard the infamous, well, our stadiums aren't going to be winterized. Our Camping World camper out here, we got to flush the toilets and put in the stuff, the antifreeze, so everything doesn't freeze over, and we got to put it under a tent and take it to the camper storage. No, you idiot! You play the game. They play games at Rainbow Field. They play games in Buffalo.
We just watched.
This is not a thing. This is not a thing.
The NFL playoffs. We just watched a game. One of them happened in Buffalo, and the weather was negative whatever. We had one of the cooler snow environments in recent years at Lambeau. It's not like Arrowhead's warm. What are they thinking? Why do you disrespect your fans? Not to mention, that is an advantage for you. You live year-round in Columbus, Ohio. You have to go out and practice late in November when it's chilly. You deal with all of that. Also, we just saw this conference, the very Big Ten, play mid to late December games on home sites.
Nebraska traveled
to Piscataway,
New Jersey, the day after a blizzard.
And it was, 10 degrees,
and
5 degrees?
But Big Ten didn't have a problem with that.
No, of course not.
I still think it goes back to the Big Ten wanting to acquiesce to the bowl system and the Rose Bowl.
Stupid.
Thank you. And so it gets that mindset. It invades them with this too. And like, oh, well, neutral site. And yeah, they'd probably give more tickets to Ohio State. I'm not saying it's going to be totally neutral, but come on. That's not your stadium. Can you imagine, John? Alabama, it's like, hey, Bama, do you want a home game? No, we'll go play in Jacksonville. Why? They wouldn't ever do that. And that's what you have to ask yourself, right? Like, one of the things that I think is fun to do as a fan of a team is you're playing in a game and it's 4th down. And you're thinking about it from the perspective of, what does the opposition want me to do? And if they want me to punt, well, then I should go for it because they're afraid that I'm going to get the 1st down. If you pose this to any team traveling to play them, be like, yes, we'd love that. Please don't play the game at the Horseshoe. Go play it in a dome. We'd love that. Why would you want to give away that advantage of your fans, of you knowing the weather, of all of that?
I'm just flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I'm just flabbergasted. I'm dead serious, man. If I was on the radio in Columbus right now, I would be saying Gene Smith needs to go.
It's the stupidest thing.
He hates you. He apparently doesn't respect you. Oh, but fans don't want to be cold. Are you kidding me?
I just watched the whole NFL playoffs.
We live here. Yeah. We live in these environments. You know, if we're willing to live here, of course we would go to a playoff football game in the cold and not bat an eye. Heck, we'd take it as a badge of courage, a badge of honor, a badge of playing, of living and choosing to live in the Midwest.
Yeah. And if you know what,
it's like,
John?
Hey, this is awesome. Hey, look at those wimps from the South. They're over there shivering.
Oh my gosh. Remember the time Miami played in a bowl game and it was 50 degrees and they were wearing long sleeves? Okay, cool. Let's do that now in 10-degree weather. Like that is an advantage that you would have that they don't have.
Plus, it also, it's, as we have seen like this month,
yeah, you never know.
It's not a guarantee that we're going to have 35 below.
There was a Super Bowl in Dallas one time that had like the biggest snowstorm in years, and it shut down the city. Super Bowl
iced
week.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you know what, John? If you're a season ticket holder and you don't want to go because it's too cold, guess what? You can sell your damn tickets for more than you've ever sold them for before.
Any athletic director who is willing to part with the possibility of a home playoff game so they can play it in a dome or play it at some other neutral site needs to be drummed out of the sport.
Jed says, next time Trev has his call-in show, we need a caller to call and ask Trev if he would recommend moving a playoff game away from Memorial Stadium. Yeah, honestly, one of the bigger bummers right now.
And I hope his response would be to laugh heartily and say,
that up?
Really? We would like to move away from our fans. We would like to move away from our beloved stadium. We would like to move away from the city of Lincoln so we can take this valuable event somewhere else. Oh, yes. Sign me up for that.
Yeah, honestly, one of the things that sucks most about Nebraska not being good is that they're not involved in these conversations, because I'm with you. I would hope that Trev would like laugh at that. Like, why would we want to, because you just hit on one of them. Why would we want to take money away from the city of Lincoln? Why would we want to take money away from the city of Columbus, Ohio? Why would we want to do that? Our fans, they earn that. You are a great team all year. You earn a playoff berth and a home playoff game. That is a reward for our season ticket holders that they get to go one more time. Kansas City had 3 home playoff games this year. What a reward for those season ticket holders to have the opportunity. And if they don't want them, they can forego them and they can pass on them, or they can buy them and try to sell them on the market. It's a reward. That's what this is. It should be an honor to play in weather that bad, because it's an advantage for you. Stupid.
Well, if you thought that was dumb, just wait. Dumb Debates is next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. As far as accidents go, nothing to avoid on the drive home. Getting reports of delays on eastbound L Street from I-80 to about 108th. Slow going on westbound West Center Road at 156th. And delays on eastbound Highway 370 between 84th and 72nd. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. Our most popular scratch ticket is bigger than ever, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. So slide into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Hi again, everybody. Kent Pavelka, courtside, getting ready for this year's roofing season from the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, America's leading installer of Da Vinci roofs and roofs of all styles. We're expecting another year filled with good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard, providing the highest level of customer service with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
1180 The Zone and News Talk 1290 are your home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action this season. Go Mavs! Omaha Mavericks women's basketball on 1180 The Zone and News Talk 1290.
Do you know the signs of an opioid overdose? Talk to your physician and pharmacist about naloxone, a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Be Opie ready and download a free overdose support tool, the Opie Rescue app. Search Opie Ready for more information.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Friends don't let friends work out alone. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs. How good does it feel to share a new restaurant or a new movie with a friend? They get to enjoy something new, and you get the joy of sharing it. Fitness is no different. For a limited time at Genesis Health Club, join month to month with no enrollment fee and get an unlimited guest pass so you can bring a friend every time you work out. This offer has been extended for a limited time. No contract, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. You'll have the VIP golden ticket to get your friends, family, or even coworkers into Genesis Health Clubs for absolutely free every time you work out. But beyond helping a friend with better health, you also get accountability, which means they are counting on you and you are counting on them to make sure you both hit your fitness goals. No contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. Come into the club or join online. It only takes a few minutes. Offer extended. Act now. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com for no contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. When you're gone.
Listen, listen not to, we did anyway, dumb debating.
John's computer sucks, Macs are the only way, dumb debating.
Fullbacks are running backs, hamburger steaks.
Josh is too dumb to eat a cupcake.
Mayo in a base.
Does John like Nebraska or Creighton?
Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Die for the pylon or give up on the plate, dumb debating.
Millennials are great and old should go away, dumb debating.
Rarely do we find any common ground.
Josh wants his food to be the best around,
even if it gives him fatal flatulation. Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
When a tree falls down and nobody's around, you can bet your ass it won't make a sound. Water ain't wet, you know nothing about hydration. Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
That must be Wednesday, and it must be the happy hour because it's Dumb Debates time.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
Dumb
Wednesday, my dude.
Debates is back, folks. And this is where you help us determine what happens on this program by sending us your dumb debates.
Yeah.
Your quandaries, your questions into the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620.
Literally, we'll answer anything.
Or
anything.
Or the Equitable Bank inbox, John at 1620thezone.com, or Josh at 1620thezone.com. Well, we did talk about
doing the off-air conversation. You want to bring that one on the air?
No, I'm not.
Okay. It's like, whoa, we're doing it?
We're not bringing that
Let's
one.
do it.
Al wants to know who wins more games next season, Kansas State or Nebraska?
I mean, not without looking at the schedules, though I know Nebraska's Kansas State would probably be my guess.
Kansas State.
Because they've won more games recently. Until Nebraska goes above 500,
I feel so. Remember when I looked up the Kansas State record?
Yep.
A couple months ago. I feel like they're on the upswing, aren't they? Did I see that? Are they on
they're not
the
bad.
Upward end of the bell curve?
So recently, they have now the COVID year is obviously the one thing that kind of throws a wrench into the situation.
Yes.
Because they went that year 4-6. But surrounding that, they have gone 8-5 in the Chris Kleeman era.
The non-con is South Dakota, Missouri, and Tulane.
Ooh.
And then they're
fired up for football.
And then their road games in the Big 12 are Oklahoma, Iowa State, TCU, Baylor, and West Virginia.
Okay.
Mountain Mama.
But yeah, off the top of my head, I would probably just say them just because they've been the better program,
Yeah. It could be close.
Sure.
It could be close.
I'd made them a favorite by like Kansas State -1.
One win?
-1 win.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
You know what? If you give me -1, I might take Nebraska.
Because at the very least, you probably get a push.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I might get.
I think we should put this on the list.
Put it on the list. Put it on the list.
Give me Kansas
State.
Yes.
Okay. Kansas State. It is.
Definitely don't want Kansas there, Nick.
No, the band actually. Just
well, I don't know.
Kansas
is getting better.
Kansas is getting better, but if Nebraska is in the conversation with Kansas for number of wins, they're having a bad time.
They are.
Bad time. Dave says, whose weather-related prediction bit is better, mine or Jack Mitchell's? Mine, by far. No offense,
Who's
Jack.
his betters?
Who is better? Whose bit is better? So do you know what Jack's is?
No, I'm unfamiliar.
Okay, so Jack's is, at a certain point, he will proclaim that there will be no more days where the high is below 60 degrees. He usually does this in April?
Yeah, it's a 60-degree.
It's a really safe number.
So, but now
but
here's
it
the
usually
thing:
happens in April.
He's never been right.
He's never been right.
Oh,
he's never been right. And so
just like Josh, he's never been right.
I was almost right last year, almost. But Jack has to then
nice
walk.
answer there, Coach Frost.
I'm close. But he has to walk a long time. Like most recently, when he's done it, he's ended up walking a marathon.
Oh.
But he raises money. It's a very cool event. He does it for charity.
Okay.
Yeah. My weather bit, of course, is I have 2 of them now. I have the snow is done, which I'm not proclaiming that for a while because it's going to snow during the spring game. And then my
while you're in Mexico.
Thank you, Nick, for reminding me that
At
I'll be
Mexico.
Cannot wait.
In Mexico.
We have a
snow.
countdown going. That is 52 days away for those of you who are wondering.
You really have a countdown.
Well, it's just the name of our group chat. Every day, one of my friends changes it to the number of days that are remaining until Mexico. It's 7 weeks and 3 days, but who's counting? So I have that bit going, and more recently, I have one that seems to have confused a lot of people. You got the 20-degree thing and the below zero.
Which, by the way, and you'll find out later on, Josh is in trouble.
My bit is better. The snow is done.
How can you say your bit is better?
The snow is not done.
At least when Jack gets wrong, he raises a lot of money for charities.
I could do that too.
benefit
but
from
you
Jack
don't.
being wrong.
Like you could do it.
You're always like, wear a MAGA hat.
You could.
I never like.
Why do I have to come up with all of your ideas?
Let's do
Wear
something.
2 MAGA hats.
Let's do.
Yes. Wear one front ways and back ways so that people can both see you coming and going with your MAGA spirit.
Well, I'll raise some money then if I'm wrong. See, now the more recent bit, John's like, if you're wrong, dumbass, you're going to be called a dumbass. Whereas Jack raises money. It's just because of the people that I surround myself with.
You can do whatever you want. You don't have to acquiesce to any of these. You immediately agreed to the whole dumbass thing
man.
because you knew you weren't going to have to work as hard as Jack did.
Now, here's the thing, though. Jack has often yelled at me for my great "the snow is done" predictions, but he gets mad because it's like, oh, you're stealing my bit. I'm not stealing it. I have perfected it.
If you're in another market, it's not stealing.
I've perfected your wrong predictions by being even more wrong than you.
No, is that right? If you're in another market, it's not stealing.
Exactly. Thank you, Nick. But if I did this, if I was like, well, let's raise money, then I'm really getting in his
Listen,
territory.
this sounds, you know what? We're going to hold this
Take
back.
away money from people.
Connor Happer.
Yeah, let's steal.
Connor Happer wants to be involved
Stop
in dumb
the steal.
bits. We'll keep this conversation going tomorrow in the spillover.
It's called the crossover, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I misspeak?
Yeah, I think you said a different word. Ray asks, are oranges named oranges because oranges are orange, or is orange called orange because oranges are orange?
I know the answer to this.
Damn it, Nick.
I've looked it
Here,
up.
Let me get.
You guys go.
Do you know? Do you have a guess, or do you know the answer?
So
basically, is orange a color, and thus oranges are called that because of the color, or is it the reverse, that we gave them the name and then we're like, hey, that's a color?
Can we prove? Yeah, here's the thing.
Nick says he's going to prove.
But can we prove? Because this is
Was
something
this in
that's got to.
Genesis?
This has to go back forever. It's
Genesis chapter 4.
I'm
and then
going
they
to say
named
the
them
color
oranges.
is first.
Same. The color
and then
came
the fruit
first.
was named after the color.
Yeah.
Because hey, look at that orange fruit.
And they were lazy millennials of the olden times.
Many olden times.
Yeah. What do you got for us?
The fruit came first.
So the fruit was orange.
And
then they named the color after the fruit.
In English, the color orange is named after the appearance of the ripe orange fruit. The word comes from the Old French orange, from the old term for the fruit, pomme d'orange. Before this, my French isn't good.
Yeah.
Fruit first.
Wow.
Oh.
So I wonder why that didn't happen with other colors. So like grape, why it wasn't purple, just called grape.
Why wasn't banana yellow?
Why wasn't banana yellow?
Why wasn't apple red?
I was going to say that was the next one I was going to think
Because there are also green apples.
What about limes?
And apple also sucks. Am I right, John?
Wow.
Apple does suck.
Well, maybe you asked about banana. Lemons are also yellow, so maybe that's the answer. That's probably part of it. Is that some fruit are multicolored?
Well, wow, I was disappointed. I thought we would have an actual debate, but it turns out we actually have the
Nerd
answer.
Boy had the answer for us.
Sometimes I just get questions and I need answers.
Now,
and the internet's there for me.
Now listen. We say we're going to tackle anything.
Awesome.
We do.
Can't wait for this question.
We have tackled political issues
I'm
before.
scared. Is this going to be like a couple
we have
weeks ago?
tackled these things before, and
Yeah,
we
but
will.
John was like, people shouldn't have money.
I didn't say people shouldn't have money.
All right, what's your question?
We should redistribute.
It's not my
money.
question, and we shouldn't redistribute money. That's wrong too.
Wow,
But
on
somebody-
the NFL model. Interesting.
But somebody
And NIL.
And NIL. Well, he's definitely out on NIL.
I didn't say that.
Well, I'm inferring.
Yeah, you're inferring. Someone who handles money for a living.
Old Man Doug?
Old Man Doug. Asked a question, maybe a subject for dumb debates. But they
I
are
saw
now
this.
calling women actors instead of actresses. Why?
So I actually partly know the answer to this question. So again, this is not a dumb debate. The term actor it goes back years and years and years and years.
I'm an actor.
I'm trying to find the thing I looked up actually when I read it.
Somebody help! It's a fire.
All right,
sale.
it goes back to BC, like the olden times, and so they were
Back when they were naming oranges.
If I remember, yes, exactly. If I remember right, they were
the Orangin times.
In this period, women were not allowed to act.
They were not.
So actor essentially became a male terminology, and so thus when women were allowed to act,
yes, when
they gave them the feminine term actress, similar to Huskers, Lady Huskers.
Most of Shakespeare's plays, the women characters were played by dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, some of them didn't have the
How,
stuff.
How did How did the folks handle the whole love scenes?
They were cool with it.
John, they just kiss. It's just it's
They were
acting.
cool with it.
I
Just
know.
like how
I
some
was just
people play
asking.
Nazis in films.
I'm just asking.
Some people kiss
I'm
men.
just asking.
People
This is
weren't really
old-
that
this was
uptight about it.
olden times.
People weren't that uptight about it in the Renaissance.
I'm just asking. It was
They
just
really
in
weren't.
olden times.
So so I guess what was the original question?
Well, he asked,
why
do they call women actors instead of actresses? I
Because
think
technically the definition for actor is just a person who acts.
I think it's it's basically the same reason we no longer say the Lady Jays.
Correct,
or the
because they're
Lady
the
Huskers.
Jays.
They're just the Cornhuskers or the Blue Jays.
Yeah, yeah.
There-
You don't
there's
need
no-
you don't need the qualifier.
Yeah, you don't need the feminine version of the word.
If they are
or
acting,
the feminized version, if that might be the better
So
term.
like Charlize Theron, a director wouldn't say like she is lady acting. They just say she is acting. So that's you don't need the qualifier.
What is the
Actressing.
official
actressing? Thank you, Nick. Lady acting was funny.
Lady acting.
She's a good job at lady acting.
What is the official terminology that the Academy of Arts and Sciences uses for the Oscar?
For the women now?
It's not best. We shortened
Oh.
it to best actor, best actress.
Oh, I
but
see
the
what you're
actual
asking.
official title, when they actually read the card,
Best
It is-
acting lady.
It is best. Well, see,
it's leading female and
Academy Award for Best Actor. That is the one that is presented to the males, and it is the Academy Award for Best Actress.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought for some reason it was like best
It is
female
like
in a leading
in a leading role. That's what they'll say.
But those types of awards are
This
so
is just off of Wikipedia.
Well, but go to the
Go to the actual website,
go
go
to
to
the
the
was it
Oscars.
Oscars.com or Oscars.org or whatever. Because I
Oscars.org.
thought there was like an official. They
look
they
it
give it the elongated, best performance by a leading female in an acting role or something.
Yeah.
It's a longer title.
All right, let's see. I'm looking up the nominees. I have to click a lot of links. Okay, actor in a leading role, actor in a supporting role, actress in a leading role.
Okay,
actress
so
in a
they
supporting-
still use
They still use the
interesting.
yeah. Riley says
Not woke Hollywood.
So is a woman food server, a waiter, or waitress? See, I just call them all servers. And that the food industry has kind of moved away from saying waiter and waitresses. Just like the aviation industry, they're not
pilots and lady pilots.
They're not.
pilots.
Yeah,
Well,
pilots
I've
and
never
ladies.
heard of lady.
They're not.
Well, they used to say aviator and aviatress.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's
Like
right.
Amelia Earhart was an aviatress.
And what did they call the
was
people that help out and like give you blankets and stuff? What are those?
the stewardess.
Flight attendant now.
Flight attendant. Yeah,
flight attendant, but it used to be
And it was
steward
steward
and,
and
stewardess.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think we're moving away from the gender specific
The qualifier
word and just saying, hey, you're a
You
server.
participate, yeah.
You're a server. You serve.
Yeah.
You're a Blue Jay.
Once again, there's not there's not John Niatawa, beat writer for the Creighton Blue Jays, and then Aaron Sorensen, woman beat writer for Hail of Art. No, they're just
Or
they're writer.
beat writress.
Beat writress.
Beat right. Even lady writer.
You know
Lady
what?
Wright.
I know what? I think we should be like Old Man Doug. We should go back because it would just be funny to reinvent these words. Beat writress.
I just
like-
want to start putting lady in front of everything.
Andy says
Or
like
lady-
teacher and teatress.
Lady
Teatress.
teatress.
Mhm.
See, that sounds a little dirty.
It does. Zach says,
Oh
is the-
no, teatress.
is the female version of a J skirt known as a J skirt.
Oh. J Striss?
Now he did spell
Oh.
it Jaskirt. I think you got to spell it Skert to really fit. Yeah. Steve wants to know what's the male equivalent of a dominatrix then?
A dom.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
a
I think
dom?
it's just a dom.
Look at Nick over
I
there.
have family.
Mhm.
So even in our industry, like the next studio over, would like Nikki
Mhm.
or Alyssa describe themselves as a radio host or radio hostess?
They would say radio host
Right.
or
Right.
DJ. Yeah.
Right.
DJS.
So Nick is a
Lady
producer,
DJ.
a female version.
Lacey or
Produceress.
Produceress.
Producer.
Remember when Stacy was the produceress?
The produceress of the
Produceress
of the
Unsportsmanlike
program.
Conduct.
See, that's kind of a cool title.
Produceress?
Produceress.
It's a tongue twister, is what it is.
Yeah, that's
hard to
You
say.
know what? That's probably the reason why we don't do it, because it would create all of these complicated words to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hard mouth sounds.
So I am all for getting rid of the res or s or however, whatever the suffix is.
Mhm.
I'm all for
yeah,
getting rid of
take
it. Makes
down
it-
gender norms.
It makes it
Hell yeah.
easier. It makes it easier just to say.
We just fixed everything.
What
We
a
did.
woke program we've become.
Look at you, John. I'm proud of you.
Getting rid of gender norms.
Well, I'm the one that's woke, not Hollywood. Look at Hollywood.
Yeah, what are they doing? All right, we have to tackle the question of the day. And that is pizza. So if you missed it,
Chicago stylism.
No,
All
we're
right,
not going to. Not again,
doing
not
that.
again, Nick, not again. But if you missed it, Connor Happer, fine new radio host, not radio hostess of the Connor Happer Show, 10 to 2, 1620 The Zone. He tweeted last night about Buffalo Chicken Pizza. Basically called it a sham. It's a shamockery. There were many discussions about it on the radio today. I know. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But I love this question from Dave. Because he quoted somebody who said, we need to stop calling things like this pizza. You can't just throw any random toppings on a crust and call it pizza. At some point, that sandwich becomes a hamburger. And so Dave asked, based on this tweet and Happer's Buffalo Chicken Pizza take, what is pizza? Is it any combo of crust/toppings, or does certain things or are certain things disqualified?
Well,
isn't pizza? So I view pizza as you got to start with the crust.
You do.
So you have the dough, you roll out the dough in it. You can do it in square and circle, whatever it is.
But does it have to be bread or yeast or flour and yeast based?
What about like the cauliflower? Yeah.
I consider that pizza. If it's called cauliflower pizza, I guess that's a qualifier, kind of like the actor and actress. That is still a pizza for me. So that's kind of, I'm good with anything after that. Now, I don't like taco pizza. I know people love taco pizza. I hate it because I don't like that it's all cold stuff. But I don't want my pizza to have anything cold on it. I want it to be nice and warm. But I'm good with any base topping, any base sauce. So I'm good with, I love buffalo chicken pizza and I love regular pepperoni pizza. I'm not into the Alfredo chicken pizza as much, but I'll eat it.
So good.
Yeah,
but it has the crust, it has the base, and then do whatever you want to do. But as long as you have that pizza-like.
Does it have to have cheese?
That's a good question.
Now, of course, your New York snob purists will say the only pizza is crust, sauce, cheese. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. It's a crust, sauce, cheese, which in my view is cheesy bread.
So boring.
Exactly. It's cheesy bread.
It needs some sauce. It definitely needs sauce.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The purists, the New York purists will be cheese, crust, sauce.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's like the basic form of it.
No, but some people say that's pizza and that's it. You put anything else on it.
People are stupid.
Yes, they are.
Happer. No offense. Oh, come on, you gotta have some
I
meat
agree.
on there.
I mean, obviously you can get a little more creative, but I mean, if it's a tough decision. It really is, because you could get real technical and to Nick's point about Chicago style, it's really more casserole than it is pizza. It's the idea of the thickness of the product.
Mm-hmm.
Some Chicago style pizza is like a pie where there's crust on the top and the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Giordano's, that's their style. There's crust on the bottom, but there's also crust on the top.
That's just a pizza pot pie.
And sauce on the top of that.
I think I like Giordano's a lot.
Giordano's is delicious. It's great, and it's delicious pizza. But then, does it have to be circular?
No, it doesn't. It can be square.
It can absolutely be square.
It can be like the people.
So it can be square, but it can't be thick.
The people who do the heart for Valentine's Day, that's still pizza. It doesn't have to be circular. It doesn't have to be square. It can be whatever you want, as long as it has that same. Pizza is a vibe.
Thank you, Josh.
Pizza is a vibe.
I don't think I'm qualified to officially say definitively this is what pizza is.
All right, I want to go
because
to
there's always going to be a but.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but then these people do it this way, and they call it pizza.
So according to Wikipedia, it's an addition of Italian origin consisting of a usually round, flat base of leavened wheat-based dough topped with tomatoes, cheese, and often other ingredients. Lists off a bunch of meat, which is then baked at a high temperature, traditionally in a wood fire oven. But see, a lot of that was just usually it's using those.
Most pizzas aren't baked in a wood fire oven.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't. Most of them are in a convection oven.
Mm-hmm.
Or in some other kind of gadget that they've come up with.
A pizzazz.
A pizzazz.
Or a pizzazz.
A microwave.
Or an air fryer, which is a good place
I reheated it recently. Now I left it in a little long. I just got to figure out the right temp and time. But it was solid.
You got to figure out the right time.
Right tempi. El Scorcho says, Josh, this has to be the first thing we've ever disagreed on. Taco pizza is life.
Taco pizza is pretty good. It depends on where you get it.
Just never have gotten into taco pizza. Just never. It's just a lot of cold stuff.
Well, some places do it that way, but Casey's.
They do.
The only thing they put on the top is they put Doritos.
Lettuce. So they put.
Do they have lettuce on there?
Yeah. Casey's Taco Pizza is the cold stuff on the top is lettuce, tomato.
Oh, they do
Doritos, and they have another layer of shredded cheese, but it's not the
They
only
do
cheese
it that.
on it.
You're okay. You're right. They do it that
For the
way.
longest time, taco pizza from Casey's was my favorite.
I love their taco pizza.
It's so good.
And the little taco sauce they give you. I like the little I like to put the little taco sauce on there.
They
It's my taco pop.
So Happer probably wouldn't consider it a pizza either because that sauce is refried, a combination of refried beans and taco sauce.
On the Casey's one?
Yes, it is. That's
Sounds
right. It's
interesting.
not just taco sauce.
It's the same base we used at the gas station I worked at in high school.
Casey's is so good.
So good.
This is an interesting question in Stick to Sports. But Sky says, would NBC, this was before the Super Bowl, would NBC interrupt coverage, meaning cutting away from the broadcast, not merely having the commentary mention it, of the Super Bowl to cover Russia invading Ukraine? If not, what event would be significant enough to do so? They definitely wouldn't for the former. What would a Super Bowl broadcast cut away from the Super Bowl to cover?
Something domestic.
Presidential assassination.
Anything else? Because, like, okay, for example, the NBA Finals are taking place. The O.J. Simpson car chase is happening. They cut away from the finals to show this.
Right.
They wouldn't do that for the Super Bowl.
No.
They'd mention it because, of course, he played.
They would mention it.
But they would not cut away. I agree with you on an assassination. And, like, some crazy events, an alien ships landing, they would definitely cut away from it. And they'd be like, go to USA Network or whatever to watch the Super Bowl. What else? Anything else?
Maybe like a meteor.
Yes, if they discovered it or if it was close. Like, if it was like there's a meteor and like coming, it's going to hit us in 5 months.
We've all seen Don't Look Up.
I was going to say they'd wait a little bit for that one.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
But if it was like minutes away, I mean, would they even play the Super Bowl? I guess that's the question.
Well, yeah, they would have already known it was on the way. That's the good thing
It's
about
already here.
That's the good thing about meteor hits is you know when they're coming. You just have plenty of time to react to it.
That's
or
true.
Not react to it.
Hug somebody on a beach like in Deep Impact, and then you die.
That sounds.
And
good.
then it
Spoiler
creates a
alert.
deep impact.
And then a deep
Oh!
impact. There's really, I don't know if there's that many events. You know, like if
Well, yeah, because it's not only just you don't want to tick off the audience, but even if a major event happened and you're like, okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll let the news guys take over during commercial breaks. Those commercials are so valuable.
Yeah.
That I don't think the network would switch away from that because it's like, dude, we will lose millions if we don't run these commercials.
Follow up, and I'm saying this fully aware that I'm on a sports talk station talking to sports people. Is that sad that if like some major geopolitical event happened, that we honestly don't think that they would cut away from a football game, even though it's something that could affect everybody across the entire world?
But here's the
because that
thing.
would mean sanctions and gas price, like everything would change with that.
But here's the thing. You have 700. You have more. This is a different question if we're asking it 40 years ago or 50 years ago.
'Cause you have all
when
the
we
channels.
don't have cable
Right.
TV and you literally had 3 networks.
if you really want to know, you can turn it to like ABC. Or
I feel like if
And-
it's something
and-
that'll affect people globally,
but
like
you
something
got
like that,
everyone's most people that folks in broadcasting don't want to hear this, but most people get their information off these phones.
You think they'd do it for a terrorist attack on the level of Pearl Harbor or 9/11?
Oh, absolutely they would. There's no way they wouldn't.
Probably.
I think so too.
Probably.
They'd at least do a picture-in-picture,
I think that would probably be
which
the
is
play.
also weird to me.
They
but-
do that. That
It
would be
is.
the play.
It is.
And
but
the news event would be the picture, would be the small.
yeah.
I'm with John though. An assassination, that would, I think, just take over.
Probably.
That would take over.
Probably.
Patrick says any event that would require activation of the emergency broadcast system.
Well,
I mean, that, once again, that's we're talking about
assassination, doesn't it?
Because remember when it went the thing that went off in
EBS.
Hawaii on accident 5 years ago or whatever it was. If something like that happened and it was real, that would definitely.
That was a
take over.
trip.
Yeah. I remember reading about that. That was nuts.
Well, there you go. That's
Wow,
dumb debate.
that ended weirdly.
It did.
But I think about that type of stuff all the time.
I don't
all the time
like that because you're
Nick. You have a lot of channels.
I
Turn
know.
the channel.
I know that you're right about it, but I don't like that you're right about it because it's just, hey, here's this major thing happening, but
Yeah, we had
football.
to turn off the radio for like a pretend tornado warning that one time. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, we were sitting just here in the studio for like an hour.
I do remember
Dudes
that.
being bros.
Jen wants to know, would a terrorist attack stop the game entirely?
See, I think some of these events might actually pause the game.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, thinking back to how 9/11 was.
Yeah, something that important, where they're just like, oh, we don't know what's happening next. By the time they realize that this was coordinated, then they'd probably like, yeah, we have to shut down the Super Bowl because what if they're going to come for the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, those events definitely. If there were, if it's something overseas that doesn't have a direct, immediate impact on the health and safety of the American population, then no, it's not going to be. It's not going to interrupt.
Mhm.
It's not going to interrupt, Monday Night Football.
That's true. Michael says, meteor striking Earth. Story next time out. Brought to you by Doritos.
Stock up on your Doritos.
Get your Doritos. The end of the world is nigh.
All right. Coming up, we've got some unsportsmanlike content. Bet of the day. Ooh, bet of the day. All of a sudden now I'm falling in the same trap as
now, man.
Well, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Well, I apologize.
Ed Cooley, I want you to take out your frustrations on Josh.
I didn't do
you
anything.
You would have won last night if Josh wouldn't have tried to piggyback off of my picks.
Take it out on the meteor.
16,
what meteor?
The meteor that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But first, these commercial messages on 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Betting in the morning.
Eric Chenander joins us now. So you don't pay attention to Twitter. Do you pay attention to Sports Talk Radio?
Only you guys. That's it.
What's a day look like for the defensive coordinator at Nebraska?
Yeah, well, as you guys know, it's the way that things are shaped up in the current football landscape. Recruiting never stops, so you're always blocking out time for that.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 a.m. or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cooling down Wednesday after a cold front moved through overnight. Expect mainly cloudy skies throughout the day with north winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, highs in the upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Join online for no enrollment month to month at genesishealthclubs.com.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, getting reports of a crash on Saddle Creek Road at California Street, so avoid that area if you can. Otherwise, reports of delays on eastbound L Street from I-80 to about 108th. Slow going on West Center Road for both directions at 156th. And a slight delay if you're east on 370 from 84th to 72nd. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. Our most popular scratch ticket is bigger than ever, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. So slide into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi again, everybody. Kent Pavelka, courtside, getting ready for this year's roofing season from the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, America's leading installer of Da Vinci roofs and roofs of all styles. We're expecting another year filled with good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard, providing the highest level of customer service with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. It's tip-off time with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Hi guys, did erectile dysfunction disrupt your Valentine's Day this year? Well, today, Wednesday, February 16th, we're doing something unheard of. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is worth hundreds of dollars. Call today, Wednesday, February 16th, and qualify free. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 402-671-7777.
Everyone for Omaha, the Omaha Mavericks men's and women's basketball teams are back in action, and you can see it all at Baxter Arena. Single game tickets are available now at omavs.com/tix. You can support your Mavericks and get your tickets today, omavs.com/tix.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone, and live from the downtown Addie Sports Bar and Grill on 10th Street right after every home game, exclusively on your home for Creighton Blue Jays, 1620 The Zone.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
I hated that whole segment as much as you did.
On 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back.
Oh!
Got some unsportsmanlike content coming up. I was just thinking about it. They're re-showing the Bucks-Rams divisional playoff game.
We know your team won the Super Bowl. Congrats.
This was I was talking to my good friend last night. You know, we always call each other after our teams win the Super Bowl. And I was like, I'm so relieved. I was thinking through the whole list of, you know, how things went. It started out very nicely. I mean, blowing out Arizona. Game wasn't even close.
Cowboys had already lost.
It was such a coaching mismatch. I mean, what were you to expect? But, you know, with how this Bucks game went, and then they're in the fourth quarter here in this replay, and of course, this is when the Rams are looking like they're going to fold the tents.
Uh-huh.
And then San Francisco, and then, of course, the Super Bowl. It's like, man, the stress of it all. I don't know how some of you people do it.
You just did it.
I know.
Or are you saying with teams that are bad?
Well, no.
Like you talking to me right now?
No.
I don't know how you do it, Josh, you moron.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, you big dummy.
I don't know why
do
I do it either. I put all that time and effort into caring, and then they never give me anything for it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You won in October. Fun. Win in January, in February.
Exactly.
I would enjoy that immensely.
I agree. I think I feel your pain.
No, you don't. You just won the Super Bowl. You don't feel any of my pain.
I feel your pain right now.
None of my pain.
Just stop feeling pain.
I'm feeling no pain. Here is Butch. Good afternoon, Butch. What's on your mind?
Hey, Butch.
Hey, what's up?
No, man, what's going on?
John Bishop that I'd like to speak with.
Yeah, that's me.
Screw you.
Josh is here too.
Yeah, what about me, Butch?
You can talk to Josh too.
Talk too much.
Wow. Yeah, it's my
Josh,
job. It's my job, man.
I consider Bishop like the head honcho, top dog, big kahuna.
Of
and
what?
Yet he's
Big
like kind of like bows to you too much. All right, first off,
My
I'd like
takes
to
are
make a
good.
prediction. I don't know if you're up on who the Rams play next year, but they play the AFC West.
Yes, they
I
do.
would predict that they go 0-4 against the West, and they lose twice to San Francisco, and there's 2 losses right there. So you're not even going to make it back, Big John.
Put it on the list.
Wow,
Put it on the list, John.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
I'm going to put it on the list there, Butch. I'm going to put it there
what I
on the
wanted to
list.
Talk about, except for your luck with the orange gloves, I would like to speak
My
about
luck
Nebraska.
with the orange gloves, yes. Yes, we were lucky that someone was dumb enough to wear orange gloves.
Oh, you are so weirdly superstitious, and I don't know.
How am I
it's like
superstitious? What are
radio
you
or
talking
really
about?
believe it.
Superstitious? Where am I superstitious?
Well, like the other day, you mentioned it's only because of the. Did I say blue gloves? I meant orange gloves.
No, you said orange.
You said orange.
Oh, okay. I thought you were misunderstanding.
Butch, I wasn't
orange.
saying they lost because they had orange gloves because it was superstitious to wear orange gloves. It was that the orange gloves made it easier for the refs to see that it might have been holding. Normally, defensive players try to match the color of their gloves to the other team's uniform. That was my point, and it was a story that someone had written that has nothing to do with superstition, Butch. Nothing to do with superstition. Is there a point?
What
to
else
this
do you
call?
got here, Butch?
Okay. Anyway,
all
I
right.
think Nebraska should move to the Western Athletic Conference. Even though they won't get as much money, they can go 13-0 and be that one team that gets in. I think that in basketball, Nebraska should either go independent or go to the league that UNO is in. Sun Belt Conference. Because they might
the
be able to
Summit
win 4
League?
games, get into that tournament as a 7th or 8th seed, and then they'd only have to get hot and win 3 games, and they'd be in the NCAA, and then they could lose.
Butch, were you at the Rams celebration today? Were you drinking?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, there you go.
You're allowed to say Jesus Christ, Nick. It's okay.
Okay.
Wow. Butch was just all over the
That
place there.
call was something else, man.
When he called the other day too, but he wanted to talk about the conference thing, and that was like the only thing. So I'm like, all right, there could be something here.
Yeah. It was funny. I was just about to read a conference email.
I wasn't expecting the
This is a
rest.
normal email. This isn't a crazy message. So you ready for this one?
Oh, good.
Riley says, fingers crossed that the next Big Ten TV deal does double, which would have the Big Ten schools making double what the Pac-12 schools are making, because then maybe USC and Oregon would want to jump to the Big Ten. How about them apples, John?
How about them apples?
USC and Oregon, the Big Ten.
By the way, Butch, you've been added to the list.
You did the 6 games? They're gonna. So you got 6 losses.
Yeah.
6 losses. Have you seen? We haven't discussed this yet this week. The Rams. Have you looked at their 2022
I know who
opponents?
they're playing.
Think it's gonna be the Cowboys in the opener? It's gonna be them or the Bills, right? That was my guess.
I don't know if
Or they
they're
wanna-
going to put Dallas on that game 2 years in a row.
Fair.
That would be the only thing I would say. It won't be Dallas. It's obviously it's a great choice, for
viewership.
television viewership.
So then you got the Bills, and I'll give you
Bills
2
would be a good one.
2 wild cards. One, the Seahawks, but Russell Wilson, if he's still there, is a draw. The other one though is the Broncos. If
Aaron Rodgers gets traded or
Yes.
or ends up there somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? That'd be a weird one. Broncos, Rams to open the season, but if Aaron Rodgers is there, that would be a heavy viewership game.
Yes,
heavy
it would.
viewer. I think it'll be Bills or Cowboys. I'm with you. You're probably right. Save Rams, Cowboys for later in the year.
Yeah, when the Rams can sit all their starters because they've already clinched the West.
Damn
and-
you. Well, they're going 0-4 versus the
that's
the
right.
AFC
Butch
West,
said they're going 0-4.
and then 0-2 versus the Niners.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next, I've got bad news for Butch.
Uh-oh.
And the rest of the teams on the Rams schedule. And Josh is already wrong about a prediction and could be wrong about another prediction.
I'm never wrong about predictions.
Coming up in unsportsmanlike content on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone is easy to hear anywhere. On air, online, and on social media. Wherever you are, we are. 1620 The Zone.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Pandemic-impacted homeowners may be at risk of losing their homes, which is why the state of Nebraska is providing relief through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Qualified homeowners can receive up to $30,000 in assistance for past due mortgage payments, past due real estate taxes, HOA dues, and homeowners or flood insurance. Funds will be distributed until they run out, and they do not need to be paid back. View qualifications and apply today at NebraskaHAF.com. That's NebraskaHAF.com.
It's 2 Point Tuesday at 42 Degrees. And what does that mean for you? Every Tuesday, you'll receive 2 points on every dollar spent. That's correct. Every Tuesday, receive 2 points, a 100% increase just for being a loyalty customer. Not a loyalty customer yet? Then go to 42degrees.com and go to the loyalty section for a complete explanation. And you can sign up online and start saving on future purchases. 42 Degrees, your source for all your Kratom, CBDs, and more. Buy your mom's house.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
So, Nick, what do we have in unsportsmanlike content?
Josh, Nick, you said Aaron Donald was going to retire.
Yeah.
It's already wrong.
What?
Here's shirtless, ripped, jacked, yoked Aaron Donald at the Rams Super Bowl celebration.
Aaron, Sean McVay just tapped me on the shoulder. He wanted to know if you were interested in running it back.
Run it back! 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 Give it up for Aaron Donald! What a stud! Everything. We built the super team. We can bring the super team back. Why not run it back? We can be world champions. Yeah!
Josh, you were wrong.
Damn it! I mean, look. This is one of the ones that I'm happy to be wrong about.
Well, and it's not. I mean, could he still change his mind?
Of course he could. Apparently, Tom Brady's changing his mind too.
Yeah,
everybody's changing their mind these days.
Yeah, but you can tell Sean McVay's probably about eight drinks deep. Baby.
Woo!
He was ready to go. I can't wait to watch the highlights of this when I get home.
He was ready to go.
Yeah. That's become the new thing about watching these post-championship celebration parades is how sloppy drunk all of these athletes and coaches who are always in this like ultra serious mood every time you see them on TV. Now they're just like, and they act like idiots like the rest of us.
I love it.
ESPN's Jeremy Flower wrote that a Broncos player told him, "I think it's only a matter of time before Aaron Rodgers ends up in Denver." The player added that it's more than a hunch. Is it only a matter of time?
Please, if this is going to be the thing, make it happen.
Can we get it over with?
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Because speaking for the Bronco Nation, I don't believe you deserve to be put through this ringer again. I mean, poor Stibbs last year had photoshops of Aaron Rodgers in Bronco uniform.
Oh, I remember those photos.
Remember those? You put them all over the room because it was triggering our boss, who's a big Packer guy. And of course,
yeah.
our best friend who's a Broncos fan who hates Aaron Rodgers, by the way, but said, but I'll take him.
Yeah, of course you would. He's Hall of Famer.
Broncos do not deserve to go through this again. So if it's going to happen, make it happen or get it over quick. Nothing else.
I think he actually is going to end up there. I said the same thing last year on the draft, and I ended up being wrong. I think he is going to end up there this time. There's just been so much smoke for it.
I'm gonna say he.
Aaron wants the smoke.
I'm gonna say he stays in Green Bay.
Okay.
Are the Broncos where good quarterbacks go to die?
No, that's the Bears.
That's true. Yeah, the Broncos have had good quarterbacks actually be good. Peyton Manning was good there before he was bad.
John Elway was
fair,
there.
but I remember
John Elway, Hall of Famer.
Tebow was there. And
Well,
then
Tebow was always
Tebow
bad.
had the one good year.
Manning was there,
Jake
and then
Plummer.
he stopped.
Jake Plummer was good.
Peyton Manning was really good, though.
Yeah, if we're going to talk bad quarterbacks.
When
we
I
gotta
say
talk
to die, I
players.
don't mean like
Oh, you meant to
be bad, just
retire?
retire. It seems like you're a quarterback for the Broncos, and then you're done.
Well, that was
As far
only
as my
Peyton.
knowledge
That was
goes.
only Peyton.
Yeah, that
Was
was
it only
only
Peyton?
Manning.
And
yeah.
Peyton had a
John
couple of good
Elway, but
years
he-
and won a Super Bowl in his worst year there.
That's true. People
All
forget.
right.
You know why? Because he had Von Miller.
I love learning things.
Super Bowl, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Von Miller.
Providence went down to Nova last night and now sit a half game up on Villanova in the loss column. These two teams will play one more time before the conference tournament. Who's winning the Big East?
Well, I got to say, man, Villanova, John Fanta told us yesterday, like he said yesterday, the conference runs through Philadelphia, and it is so true. It is so true. These guys, they just find ways to continue to beat you. Villanova, by the way, only has 4 more games left on their schedule.
4 more games.
And their games are against Georgetown, at UConn, could be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Then they rematch against Providence in Philly, and then finish at Butler.
Providence has, 5 more games?
Providence, I believe, has 5 more games.
And, of course, one of them is Villanova. They have Butler.
They'll have Creighton.
They have Butler mixed in there, if I remember right.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here. It's taking a minute to reload. Yeah, Providence goes to Butler this weekend. They host Xavier, host Creighton, travel to Villanova. I'm going to take the safe bet and take Villanova. It's a safe bet. They find ways.
Give me Providence, man. Give me Providence. They win their first regular season conference championship.
Ed Cooley, 402-951-1620. If it doesn't happen.
No, I'm not.
Get the eggs.
Don't put it on the list. It's just a soft prediction.
A soft prediction.
Soft prediction. Real quick, 30K says, why would Aaron Rodgers want to go compete with the Chiefs every year? Because every year for him isn't going to be that many more years.
That's
also,
right.
I still think he wants to get out of Green Bay. And I know it gets cold and it snows. The weather is not as bad in Denver as it is in Green Bay.
Oh, oftentimes it's warmer in Denver than here.
I looked at the
here.
weather this week. It's like 50 degrees all week.
Exactly. And why would Aaron Rodgers doesn't care if he I think he would relish the
Bring on
opportunity
Mahomes.
to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year. Are you kidding me?
He would definitely.
Aaron
join
Rodgers
it.
isn't scared of Kansas City.
Major League Baseball is nowhere near starting, so some websites have resorted to ranking uniforms. ESPN's list of the top 5 uniforms all time had the Dodgers, Yankees, 82 through 86 White Sox, Red Sox, and 72 through 75 Braves as their top 5. Good list?
No.
What?
Why are you putting the 82 to 86 White Sox in there?
Thank you. Those suck. I'm
Socks
happy
up.
we agree on this.
And those are the ones that had the big word socks across the entire chest.
Or like pox.
They were
Small
kind
or
of
large?
they were a very 80s uniform.
Mhm. Your Cubs, by the way, were 7.
I think I love the Dodger uniforms.
The Dodgers uniforms are sweet. The red numbers with the blue were.
the Yankee uniforms are classic.
Yeah.
Red Sox.
I like the Red Sox.
I'm a huge fan of the Red Sox.
More like Red
uniforms.
Sox, am I
They're not
right?
awful, but they're not great. 72 to 75 Braves. Where's the A's? Where are those sweet yellow uniforms?
That's a good question.
And the sweet green uniforms.
They
I
had-
love when the A's break out the yellows.
They did have the
man.
72 to 83 A's on the
Which
list.
are
at
basically, yeah,
those are a little different, but
those
like
are
you
better. Those are better than the White Sox and the
Yeah.
Red Sox.
Wow, they had the 98 to 2000 Devil Rays uniforms. That's a stupid
oh
ranking.
my, okay.
Get
this,
out of here.
This article was just meant to get clicks and takes. That's an
They had
awful
the
take.
they had the Diamondbacks when they won the World Series on here. What is this list? A monstrosity is what it is.
Who did this list?
June Lee of ESPN.com.
Well, June, you might want to
It's July, June.
call Kugler Vision.
February.
Oh yeah.
Call Kugler Vision.
Yeah.
You need better eyesight.
Promo code HI. Josh told me to come here.
Nice.
Despite the fact that it's trampling high school basketball being played across the state, Nebraska ball is hosting Maryland on Friday night, and a limited number of tickets are still available from thehuskers.com. You want to go?
Absolutely not.
Where's
thank you.
Where's the hue and cry, by the way, for Nebraska ball? Playing on a Friday night when
high school
that's high school basketball night.
Yeah,
come on.
Okay, here's my question: why don't they do the same thing they did with football season, where they give tickets to kids who don't have a chance to go watch bad basketball in person very often? They should do that.
Because then the next call would probably be to Child Protective Services.
Jeez. Spot the lie, though, Nick. I can't wait to see that game with 15,000 people in attendance, where 10,000 of them are dressed like seats.
Remember when we had a funeral for the team?
I do.
And we weren't supposed to talk about him again.
I do. Oops.
Nice job, Josh.
Sorry.
Charles Barkley recently said about the 2 years remaining in his TNT contract, "I don't want to die on TV. I don't want to be sitting inside over by fat ass Shaq waiting to drop dead." Is Charles really going to be done in 2 years?
Roasted.
Oh my God. I am so gonna miss him when he is gone. I think so. I mean, he's talked about
that's the thing. He always
talked
says
about
this.
He's talked about it enough, though.
do this when I'm 60, Kenny. And then he keeps doing it.
Well, but he's not 60 yet, is he?
Yeah. He's well past 60, isn't he?
Is he 60 yet?
I thought he was. I thought he was.
Well, he'd be about the same.
Never
age
mind.
as
He's 58. Okay,
58.
so that's enough. I guess that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. No way. I will miss him. God, I love Charles.
Yeah,
even if I don't agree with him on everything, I love him.
I still think he's going to stay beyond that. A lot of people say, I'm not going to be doing, what do you think? I want to be doing this when I'm 70, and then they're doing it when they're 70. I think he's going to last a little bit longer. That said, I mean, Draymond Green, everyone thinks he's the heir apparent. He's getting up there in age in NBA years, so maybe it'd be a nice, easy handoff.
Draymond will not be nearly as good as Charles Barkley.
Definitely not. He's not as funny. I think that he will say
Plus
what
that
he thinks.
Shaq will get mad when Draymond kicks him in the nuts.
I knew that was coming.
Weatherman of the program, Travis Kleneski of Local 4 in Hastings, says a look into next week's forecast shows a day with highs only in the teens and 20s. Josh,
Nick,
you promised us no more temps lower than 20. Get your apologies ready.
So here's the thing, though, guys. Nebraska football was favored in games last year, and you know what happened in those games, John? They lost.
But
they didn't even cover. They lost.
But that's the problem. See, these are weather people whose job it is to forecast the weather. And
so they've never gotten it wrong?
Qualified.
Yeah, but interesting.
They usually don't get it that wrong.
They never have gotten it wrong. What? They've never gotten something wrong by 2 whole degrees?
They could be wrong by 2 degrees, and it could be 2 degrees the wrong way for you.
Nah.
It could be 13.
Come at me when this actually happens in your alternate universe. It's going to be a balmy 21, and I'm looking forward to it. I might wear shorts to work that day.
Shortsies?
Shortsies.
I don't know what you're talking about. According to the National Weather Service,
what do they know?
Right now, next Tuesday,
a Tuesday,
high near 26.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Wednesday, high near 25.
20 is still near 26.
Yeah, but if you once again, Nick, if you do it by the Richter scale, 6 degrees is like you can't even quantify how much.
You know what the Richter scale is?
Yeah, it's about earthquakes.
Yeah, what does that have to do with the temperature?
Every tick up is like, what is it, 10,000 more times stronger than the previous?
I honestly don't know how.
Isn't that what it is?
The Richter, how that works.
Okay, so nobody knows.
The Richter scale is for measuring earthquakes.
No, I know that.
I know. I don't
guess
know.
I never knew that.
So
I don't live in earthquake-prone areas, so I didn't bother to learn.
Every seismic, so there's a 1 to a 1.9. Every 10th is like much larger than the previous 10th was. So that's basically what I'm saying. 6 degrees, gosh, it might as well be a million degrees with how comfortable it's going to be.
This is Josh is going to be sweating it out over the weekend as he's watching the forecast every single night and probably cursing the weather people who are like Travis are going to have it on the low side of the prediction and praising those who will have it on the high side of the prediction.
Folks, the Dollar Tree in the UK is named Poundland.
Wait, why did you turn yourself off?
I was trying to turn off the music for effect, and then I just messed
Wow,
up.
you just biffed that one. What is it called? Could you say it one more time?
Poundland.
Poundland.
Poundland. Should we rename our dollar stores to Poundland.
Yes. I'm going to Poundland. What?
It won't make much sense.
I need to
considering
get a pop.
Our
Time for
dollars are called
Poundland.
dollars and not pounds, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
They also
all
call
for
them quid.
Poundland.
What's up with quid?
I can.
They call their money all sorts of things over there. Hey, it's 14 quid.
You know what they don't
Gonna
call
take
it anymore?
that shoe, Bennett.
Euros.
They do. Well, they never called them euros.
I
'cause
know.
They don't,
But they
don't-
used euros
but
up
they
until
used them.
Brexit.
R.I.P.
Man, how
Brekkie and
confusing
Brekkie.
would that be to have two
Brekkie.
different kinds of money? Oh, wait. We already have like 18 kinds of money.
We
17 of them advertised during the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, the coins.
The coins.
I'm out on the coins.
The coins.
Brian
The coins.
says, pretty sure State Farm would love to see Rodgers and Mahomes play each other twice a year. I'm sure every commercial break would feature a State Farm commercial.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude,
it would.
can you imagine Rodgers versus Mahomes twice a season?
I just realized something.
What? And
Now,
overrated ass Herbert?
I didn't pay a lot of attention to the commercials in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, there wasn't a State Farm one.
They also weren't that good.
That might be the only football game of any kind. Hell, they were running State Farm commercials in high school football. That might be the only football game I've watched all year where there was not a single State Farm commercial.
Maybe it's just too expensive.
Well, that's because they advertise and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Even NBA games.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
because
right.
they have Harden and Chris
Honestly,
Paul.
it's
No,
hard.
there's a whole side quest on the last one where you could meet Jake from State Farm and then get his outfit.
Dumb.
And then just wear it.
Casey, Mike's mom says,
Uh-oh.
I live in Poundland. It's glorious. And Zach says, I'm confused. It's supposed to be 14 degrees tomorrow at 8 a.m. That's fine, Zach, as long as the weather gets above 20 degrees.
Yeah, the prediction was that the high temperature will not be below 20 degrees
and
the
the
rest of
low,
the winter.
the low will never get below 0.
That was the promise.
That's the promise. Here's what sucks about the extended forecast. Sunday was supposed to be in the 60s, and now it's going to be in the high 50s. Get out of here with this garbage. I want to go wear shorts outside on my walk.
Do that
with Banks.
Be that guy who wears shorts in the snow.
Do that next week.
Be that guy, Josh.
Do that next week
When it's above
when
20?
it's below 20.
Below 20, my ass.
And you're in trouble.
Maybe that's the punishment. Instead of the dumbass thing, we just have him wear shorts when it's cold
work?
outside.
I'll wear shorts to work.
No, but we want the
visual.
The visual.
We
want
can do
the
both.
memes.
Let's do both.
We want the memes.
Speaking of things we should do,
or not do.
Bet of the day.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone.
Now, and plans start at just $265. Go to omavs.com/ticks or call 402-554-6287 to get your tickets now.
Unjunk your sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Right now, get a king for a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $500 on top-selling brands like Serta, Sealy, Sleepy's, and Beauty Rest. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or shop Hot Buys and get up to 50% off, like Sealy twin mattresses starting at $224.99. Or Sleepy's twin mattresses starting at $159.99. In stock for fast delivery, only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's deal is to Mystery Machine Carpet Cleaning. You get $150 toward carpet cleaning for only $75. Winter does a number on carpets. Snow, mud, salt, pet stains. Time for a call to Mystery Machine Carpet Cleaning to get $150 toward carpet cleaning for only $75. Details at our website.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
At Omaha Transmission, we don't have a warehouse full of transmissions waiting to be sold. We will diagnose and then repair or remanufacture your transmission. It's how we've always done it and how we'll always do it. Treating people the way that we want to be treated is how we do business at Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Hi guys, did erectile dysfunction disrupt your Valentine's Day this year? Well, today, Wednesday, February 16th, we're doing something unheard of. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is worth hundreds of dollars. Call today, Wednesday, February 16th, and qualify free. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 402-671-7777.
After a tough weekend on the road, your Omaha hockey team is back at Baxter Arena. This weekend, they take on St. Cloud State. Friday and Saturday's pregame is at 6:30, puck drop at 7:07. It's UNO versus St. Cloud State on your home for the Mavs, 1180 The Zone.
Hello, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. We are now open and ready to serve you at our second location at 202nd and Pacific. You may ask, why are we growing so fast? It's simple. With Equitable Bank, you get the best of both worlds. A great digital banking platform backed by our customer service. Once you bank with us, you'll never want to leave. When you're ready for a superior banking experience, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Friends don't let friends work out alone. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs. How good does it feel to share a new restaurant or a new movie with a friend? They get to enjoy something new, and you get the joy of sharing it. Fitness is no different. For a limited time at Genesis Health Club, join month to month with no enrollment fee and get an unlimited guest pass so you can bring a friend every time you work out. This offer has been extended for a limited time. No contract, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. You'll have the VIP golden ticket to get your friends, family, or even coworkers into Genesis Health Clubs for absolutely free every time you work out. But beyond helping a friend with better health, you also get accountability, which means they are counting on you and you are counting on them to make sure you both hit your fitness goals. No contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free. Come into the club or join online. It only takes a few minutes. Offer extended. Act now. Go to genesishealthclubs.com for no contracts, no enrollment fee, and bring a friend for free.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
A little slippery inside of tight spaces.
The 1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You've gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, so as we've discussed today, Providence, they let us down last night. They didn't win. But Nick had a parlay that featured the Timberwolves. I have no idea what happened with them.
Yeah.
But also that featured the 76ers of Philadelphia. They played a game last night against the Boston Celtics. They lost the first quarter, the Sixers did, by 10. Not bad. It's only first quarter. They lost the second quarter by 17. They lost the third quarter by 16. They lost fourth quarter by 5. They were outscored 135-87.
Dang.
That was Nick's. That was the best Nick had to offer last night.
It was a Hail Mary, I was going to go positive.
It was positive, boys. I'm going hockey tonight. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line against the Florida Panthers.
I want. Get ready.
Oh, a parlay?
Marquette.
Oh.
Loyola of Chicago. Boise State. I'm sorry, Boise State. And Colorado State.
Wow, that's a 4-teamer.
Minus 103.
That's all that is?
That's all that is.
Oh, wow. That's some heavy favorites.
That's some heavy favorites.
All right, Nick. Josh. Nick.
Give me the Knicks. Minus 200.
All right. Good luck to you, Nick.
Against the Nets.
That's bet of the day.
Iowa.
Coming up tomorrow.
What do we got?
Robbie Lula.
Nice.
Creighton's playing late tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Robin Washut.
Nice.
And David Ubben of the
Oh,
Athletic.
man. Been a while.
Yeah. Talk about his article on Nil.
Whew, it's quite the read. Quite the read.
It is quite the read. So we'll reconvene tomorrow.
I like it.
And it'll be a long day. Oh, they should have covered Cooper Cup.
Long day.
They should have covered
Long
Cooper
day.
Cup.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.